All right. The time has come for the Monday, June 17th, 2019 regular council meeting. Roll call, please.
Clerk's not here.
I'm sorry, I thought you were in the back. What do you need, ma'am?
Oh, I was just going to show closing items. This is audience time instead of alderman time.
Oh, okay. We'll get it.
13A.
All right, thank you.
Sorry about that. Alderman Kirkwood.
Here.
Alderman Newsome.
Present.
Alderman Turner.
Aye, present.
Alderman Rivera.
Present.
Alderman Florian.
Present.
Alderman Taylor.
Present.
Alderman Bolton.
Present.
Alderman Seeger.
Present.
Alderman Mozio.
Present.
Mayor Cunningham.
Present. All right. Before I announce the invocations leading us, ballad, Florico, and Taha. All right, come to the front, please. And as they come, please welcome for invocation Apostle Dr. Michael Haggard Sr., PhD, leader of Loving Arms World Ministries, and will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Right after that, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is turn to the flag. You're going to lead us in the pledge, okay? All right, all stand, please.
Pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, first let me say thank you on behalf of all those that have gathered here today. Father, we thank you for our spiritual lives. We thank you for our material lives and all the abundant blessings that come. Father, we thank you for life itself, for the measure of health that we need to fulfill the callings that you have placed on our lives. In the scriptures, Father, you said that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities. And since you have established those very authorities to promote peace and order and justice, therefore today we come to pray for our mayor and to pray for the various levels of city officials and for the city council that is gathered here today. I pray, Father, that you grant them wisdom. You grant them a sense of welfare for the needs of our people, a keen sense for thirst and justice and righteousness. Father, I pray for the agenda that is set for them today. Please give them the assurance of what will be pleasing unto you. And Father, may we bless our first responders as we bless those that live in our beloved city, Waukegan. May God bless the United States of America, and may God bless the city of Waukegan. For these are the things that we ask, we seek, and we pray in your most precious holy name. Together let all of God's people say, amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. They're beautiful. All right. And before I go on with Mayor's comments, I want to say this on behalf of the Cunningham family. We thank and appreciate all of those who send cards, flowers, well wishes, condolences to us on the passing of my brother. It was military honor homegoing for Mr. Alvin F. Cunningham, and it was celebrated by many families and friends. So on behalf of the Cunningham family, we say thank you, and may God continue to bless you. Waukegan Beach vendors. This past Friday, I was excited to welcome business vendors to the lakefront. These sort of amenities, maintaining the sand, having beach vendors, washing stations, the summer beach rangers accepting credit cards to get into the beach for non-city sticker visitors, And coming soon, a pedestrian and bike path to the lakefront and a bioswale along the parking lot. There are the ways to get to our lakefront and the next level. Comprehensive land use. Join us June 25th, a week from tomorrow, from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Waukegan Public Library for the second public workshop to help shape the new comprehensive land use plan that will replace the 1987 comprehensive plan. Pick up a flyer outside the council chambers for more details. And again, we need everybody's participation on this. So any ideas that you may have, please, the 25th of June, 5:30, 7:30 at the library. 14th Street meeting, this Wednesday, June 19th, from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Greenbelt Culture Center. There will be a public meeting with the Lake County Department of Transportation discussing the 14th Street Road project, or as well soon to be known as the Audrey Nixon Boulevard. So we hope to see all of you there. This is 14th Street, which encompasses North Chicago and Waukegan. That road will be turned over to the County of Lake, and is going to be named after the late County Board longest serving County Board Commissioner, Miss Audrey Nixon. Upcoming events. On Saturday, the city gave out the first Pride Award during the Pride Walk. Receiving the award were College of Lake County for being named among the top 5 two-year schools for LGBTQ inclusivity, and the Waukegan Public Library for celebrating inclusion of all identities by highlighting books featuring authors and characters on the LGBTQ spectrum, as well as their LGBT parties for high school students. Also like to thank Lake County Health Department, Heart of the City, and all of the local businesses and leaders who participated. The Waukegan Chamber of Commerce invites you to their 13th annual golf outing on June 19th at Glenflora Country Club. Details are on their website. Join the Waukegan School District, Waukegan Park District, and the City of Courageous Conversation this Wednesday, June 19th at 6 p.m. at the Miguel Juarez School. We'll be part of that panel. I will be part of that panel to discuss panel discussion. Family Piano has a Russian classical piano concert on Saturday, June 22nd, in Waukegan own internationally famous Harrison Bankhead Trio on Saturday, June 29th. Details and tickets are on their website. Waukegan Main Street and the City of Waukegan are hosting the 4th Friday concerts this summer, starting June 28th at 6 p.m. with the Scott Hamilton Band at Main Street Plaza, 101 North Genesee Street. Independence Day Parade, Sunday, June 30th, starting at 1 p.m. The parade travels up Sheridan Road from Franklin Street to Bowen Park. That evening, come to Steiner Pavilion at 7 p.m. for the free Air National Guard Band at the Midwest concert. They're really, really good. Waukegan Fireworks this year, Thursday, July 4th, starting at 9:30 p.m. over the Waukegan Harbor. Scoop 2019. The Hot Rod Holiday returns to downtown Waukegan on Friday, July the 12th at 5 p.m. with an open scoop, music, and more. Come back on Saturday at noon for the Scoop 2019. Cruise in the park with classic cars, trophy music, and more. And that is it. All right. Motion by Alderman Bolton, second by Alderman Taylor, to approve Committee of the Whole Annexation Meeting minutes from Monday, June 3rd, 2019. Any questions to the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is passed and carried. Motion by Alderman Seager, second by Alderman Florian, to approve regular City Council meeting minutes from Monday, June 30th, 2019. Any questions? Correction, June 3rd, 2019. Any questions? Roll call, please. I'm sorry, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion is passed and carried. Item 3, audience time. Madam Clerk.
Audience time. First up, we have Emmanuel Bravo.
Good evening. My name is Emmanuel Bravo. I am the director of Ballet Folklorico Tayawa. And this past 23rd of April, we received an invitation from the country of Peru to represent our Mexican culture, folklore, in an international festival, which is going to be the 11th International Festival in Peru. So we were selected among many folklorical groups, and we are so honored to represent not only the Mexican culture as well as the city of Waukegan. So we are so proud that we have come so far, but also we struggle because we are a non-profit organization. And in order for us to accomplish this dream, we need the community's help. So this is the reason that we are here today, because we are looking for ways to cover our expenses, travel expenses, I should say, to go to Peru. It has been a few months hard work because we have been trying to reach out to different organizations, different groups, different communities as well, and to try to gather the money that we need. So if anyone would like to help to these young people dream become true, it will be really appreciated if you donate whatever you can, right? I want to thank the mayor, Sam Cunningham, because he is donating some money also. So thank you so very much, and we will really appreciate all the help that it will come from the community. Also, I know that it's hard for us because we are new on this. We are only a 6-year-old organization, and we're trying really hard. I've been helping this group for almost 3 years, and in 3 years, we are at a level that we actually can like have a performance of a first level. So it is not only my work, but also the dancer's job, right? All the hard work that we put into representing this community, and not only the Mexican community, in general, the Waukegan community. So it'll be an honor for us to make this dream come true and go represent the city of Waukegan or at an international festival in Peru. And also, we have been extended an invitation to attend to another festival in Colombia, and we are candidates to also be invited to Europe for next year. So, but also, all that comes with a cost.
Thank you.
So thank you very much
Thank you.
for your time.
Sage Ramirez.
Hi, my name is Sage Ramirez. I'm one of the advanced dancers going to Peru. As you can see, we work really hard with Emmanuel's help. All of us dancers, the ones that are dressed up, are going to Peru, and we've been dreaming of going to Peru for a while now. We've been invited to many states and countries, and we've been working really, really hard just to go. And I think us going to Peru will help the community because, as you can see, the minis, the intermediates and beginners in the black uniform, they won't be going to Peru. But us going to Peru will show them and inspire them to work hard as us, and other people in Waukegan, as in like elementary schools and high schools, will see us, how we're working hard and going to Peru, and instead of going home and doing nothing, they will see this and join, and it will be helping the community and making Waukegan look good. And I believe that us going to Peru will help a lot with the community of Waukegan and bringing more cultural arts and to our community. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Daisy Cuevas. I I'm a dancer with the Ballet Folklorico Tayawa. I'm an part of the advanced group, and I'm so excited to announce that we're going to Peru. And with that being said, I want this group to expand not only knowledge but as well our dancing in Peru and other countries as well. It would, as part of our budget for Growing Tayawa, we asked for donations to Peru and for our trip to come true, because our dreams have always been to travel to other countries and states. So with that being said, I want all of you kids to also get to know other countries, just like us advanced dancers are going to be knowing other people and learning a different experience. And I'm really excited to go to Peru. So if you could just if we ask for donations, and anything would help. So thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just add a little something? We are located at 32.
That's it, thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Dylan Burdett. That's it.
Yeah, we are located at 32 North Genesis Street. Our studio is located there. And also you can find us on Facebook. You can donate.
Thank you.
You can
Thank
donate
you.
on our page. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
God bless you all.
Dylan Burdett.
Hello all. I'm going to talk really quickly about two events that I would like to invite kind of everybody here to. The first one is going to be this Saturday, June 22nd. I know all of the council and the mayor already have the information on this. It's from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Doors are going to open at 1:30 at the North Shore Church of Christ. That's at 326 Julian Street here in Waukegan. This is an environmental justice rally. We're asking you to join Clean Power Lake County and our allies to stand against the unfair burdens that polluting industries inflict on Waukegan's most vulnerable residents. We want you to learn how corporations continue to contaminate our air, water, and soil, and what we can do to ensure a healthy environment for immigrant, low-income, and working-class families. The second event, which I'm going to be announcing, is a closed event, so registration is required. That's going to be this Thursday evening at Rosalind Franklin University in North Chicago. And that's going to be hosted by the National Acting Director of the U.S. Chemical Safety Board. This is going to be an informational session on lessons from CSB investigations, such as how to prevent chemical disasters, best practices for public policies, how to build community engagement, and coalition building. This sounds like something you're interested in. Either get in touch with Clean Power Lake County or me, or you can reach out to my science team at cplc.science@gmail.com. With that, I would like to thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all either this Thursday or this Saturday, or both. Thank you.
Diana Burdett.
Marginalized communities experience disproportionate environmental burdens, from historical damages, misuse of lands, and socio-demographic racial systemic obstacles placed on the working class and marginalized groups. There is a current effort across the nation in over 20 cities using zoning and local land use policies historically used for segregation to restructure and create equitable urban landscapes. A report put out by the Natural Resource Defense Council, NRDC, called Local Policies for Environmental Justice, a National Scan, lays out an outline how these policies are being reworked to work for the people instead of against. A strategy for proactive planning written into the comprehensive plan is touched upon, and I will be bringing it up at the Waukegan Comprehensive Planning session. The explosion at AB Specialty Silicone exposed a clear failing. The risk of the community was increased when entities failed to inform the residents of air toxic exposure. The action failed the people, and the community was not informed until the Attorney General sent out a press release on May 31st. We deserve to know what is in our air when it happens, and I am discouraged by the lack of precautions taken. The model shown by EPA and the Illinois EPA is that we stand alone, and we must begin to make regulations and policies at a local level in order to protect the human health of our residents. I urge you to look at the plan presented by NRDC and move forward on some of these policies. Thank you.
Thank you. Charles Rush? Charles Rush? Mr. Charles Rush? I thought I saw you.
My name's Charles Rush. I live at 1106 Sheridan Road. Mayor, in the last council meeting, you went on an extended rant extolling the virtues of gambling and what a necessity is for Waukegan here. Gambling in this state and now this city has become a fallback replacement for bad and incompetent government. Promoters of the casino here are outsiders, and they have suggested in funding campaigns of some of the council members here who will be compliant and willing to do their bidding. I prefer to think of them as lapdogs. There is a thing in economics, a point in economics pointed out there's a marginal propensity to consume that has to be applied to gambling in the state, that there are just so many people out here willing to do it. Gambling revenues have fallen in the state since casino gambling has come in place, and now I see that we have a proposed downtown entertainment district. I remember back in time that Stan Freberg, an American humorist, in a routine pointed out a situation where we had two dueling casinos. One was the El Sodom and the other one was called the Rancho Gomorrah, bidding for business on a grand scale. It seems to me that this downtown entertainment district is heading that same direction. The casinos will fail here in this town no matter where they're located. It's an unfortunate situation that you rely upon it to help bail the city out in its financial stress. Why not legalize prostitution along with this program down there? It goes in thinking it's going to come along. It will be part of that function if that comes to succeed, or whether out at the casino you're going to have those seeking that kind of service. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jim Domiano.
Jim?
Hello, leaders of Waukegan. I'm Jim Damiano, representing Horse Feathers on North Genesee Street, owned by Jennifer Vaglienti. I know many individuals, organizations, sponsors were involved in Saturday's Pride Walk, but I wanted specifically to thank, and when I say me, I mean Jennifer too, the City Council, the City of Waukegan, for their support for Pride Walk. It was a huge success. Celebrating Pride is important to Horse Feathers, and we hope to the leadership of Waukegan for two reasons. The first is financial. Our revenue was up 20% versus other art walks, and if you've never worked retail, if you've never, sorry, I forgot your microphone.
No,
there.
you're talking to Mike because when they're recording, we...
Sorry about that. I'm used to yelling at the store.
I know, but we need you to talk into Mike.
Is that better?
Yes.
Thank you. If you haven't run retail, that's a phenomenal increase. During other art walk events, we had negative things happen. Verbal and sexual harassment, highly intoxicated patrons. This event was calm, peaceful, pleasant, delightful. It was a friggin' amazing success. LGBTQA-friendly events are good for businesses. The national spending power of that group is estimated at $1 trillion in the United States. Creating LGBTQA-friendly events converts to financial success for downtown Waukegan, and our numbers prove that out. I was told there were approximately 1,500 people who participated in that event. We counted and we estimated our people in the store at 500. Real good for us, but good for other people too. The second's more important, and it's public acknowledging that there's no place for discrimination or inequality anywhere or here in Waukegan. Showing that we all believe in basic human rights and inclusion, we're all equal, and we all matter. Customer feedback on that path was amazingly overwhelming. And by the way, I'm not saying that that's not the attitude here, I'm saying this reinforces it. Events like Pride Walk provide a safe space for the LGBTQA community, one that they want to revisit and come back to. Something we all want. We want it at the business, we want it in downtown Waukegan. Jennifer, the owner, and myself fully support any future LGBTQA events in Waukegan, to the point where I am personally volunteering my time to assist and organize any events, whether it be before or especially for Pride Walk 2020, so it can be an even larger success. I am putting my money where my mouth is. Use me as a resource. I am part of the community. I am soon to be part of this community. I am part of Horse Feathers, and I want to help. I don't charge a consulting fee either. We look forward to working with the city and making events like this a success.
Thank you. Bruce McElvain?
Hello, my name is Bruce McElvain. I live in Lake Forest at 1062 South Green Bay. I own a house at 1517 Lions Court. I've had the house for about 20 years. My problem, I guess I'm very late in getting here, deals with the water billing and the payment due date on the water bills. You switched from a quarterly to a monthly, and I read somewhere along the way that you also shortened the time with which customers have to remit their payment. This is the only community with which I have a problem. I'm self-employed, I pay banks, I pay lots of utility bills, I pay all kinds of credit cards, everything, through my bank, through the automated system. Waukegan is the only community and the only one that I have a problem with getting your payment to you. The last 3 months, I have paid my water bill the day I receive it, and I still get dinged for late payments. I'm not paying it. I've told you now, and I'm on record, when it's still less than 10 bucks. It's a matter of principle. I'm not paying it. I called the water department, I got nowhere. I called my second ward alderman, Mr. Seeger. We had a conversation, it's gone nowhere. I'm now here in front of you. And I'm not gonna pay these late charges. I can't pay the bill any faster than the day I get it. Can't be done. Now, in one of the conversations I had both with the water department and Mr. Seeger was that you guys couldn't be held liable or responsible for a slow postal system. Well, guess what? Tables are turned. I can't be held responsible for a slow postal system either. One of the differences that I notice is that my bill, my check goes to Bedford Park. Now, they're a bill collection agency as far as I'm concerned for you guys. How long it takes them to report back to you also is not my problem. That's your problem. And I'm not paying any more late fees. If we're not going to have a discussion here by your rules, that's fine. I expect a letter explaining to me how we're going to resolve this problem going forward. I've given you my address, I can give you my account number, you know how to get a hold of me. Thank you.
Thank you. Nicole Venable? Nicole Venable?
Hello, my name is Nicole Venable, and I'm going to be reading for my Spanish instructor, and afterwards she'll read in Spanish. Good evening. My name is Rochelle Evans. I am standing before you because I was here last council meeting and I kept hearing giving back to the community. It has been 10 months since I launched my business last July in 2018. For those of you who don't know, I am a Spanish teacher and I am able to read, write, and speak the Spanish language. I recall the mayor saying that it did not take him one time to become the mayor, but several times. I have gone to the chief of police, fire chief, different departments in the city with no support of teaching our employees the Hispanic language. I want so much to allow the city officials and employees to put on their applications that they are bilingual, which is a requirement for many businesses today. In addition, if a non-Hispanic officer heard someone say, "Él está muerto," he's dead, or "Lo mate," I killed him, would they understand? Would they take the right precautions? I would love the opportunity to sit down with the mayor, fire chief, and police chief for a 1-hour presentation. I will present my business and what I can do for our city. If possible, one of my students, Alderman Newsom, can speak for my teaching style and the results she received. I am reaching out to the city officials of Waukegan. Please take heed to allow me to pour back into our city. In addition to teaching Spanish, I will be certified in 2020 to teach English as a second language to not only the Hispanics, but Germans, Chinese, or anyone who would like to learn the English language. I want to be that vessel that God can use to help all nationalities, one way or another, to become bilingual. Please allow me to pour back into the city of Waukegan. My motto is, where your present becomes your future. Thank you.
Thank you. Rochelle Evans. Speak right into the mic.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Rochelle Evans. Me presento ante ustedes porque estuve en la última reunión del consejo y seguí escuchando, devolviendo a la comunidad. Han pasado 10 meses desde que inicié mi negocio en julio de 2018. Para aquellos de ustedes que no saben, yo soy una profesora de español y puedo leer, escribir y hablar el idioma español. Recuerdo que el alcalde dijo que no le llevó una vez convertirse en alcalde, sino varias veces. He acudido al jefe de policía, jefe de bomberos, a diferentes departamentos de la ciudad sin apoyo para enseñarles a nuestros empleados el idioma hispano. Quiero tanto que los funcionarios y empleados de la ciudad puedan presentar su solicitud que son bilingües, lo cual es un requisito para muchos negocios hoy en día. Además, si un oficial no hispano escuchará a alguien decir, "He's dead", él está muerto, o "I killed him", lo maté, lo entenderían, tomarían las precauciones adecuadas. Me encantaría tener la oportunidad de sentarme con el alcalde, el jefe de bomberos, el jefe de policía en una presentación de 1 hora. Presentaré mi negocio y lo que puedo hacer por nuestra ciudad. Si es posible, uno de mis estudiantes, Alderman Newsom, puede hablar por mi estilo de enseñanza y los resultados que recibió. Estoy contactando a los funcionarios de la ciudad de Waukegan. Por favor, presta atención para que me permita volver a ingresar a nuestra ciudad. Además de enseñar español, estaré certificado en 2020 para enseñar inglés como segundo idioma, no solo a los hispanos, sino también a los alemanes, chinos o cualquier persona que quiera aprender el idioma inglés. Quiero ser ese recipiente de Dios puede usar para ayudar a todas las nacionalidades de una manera u otra a volverse bilingües. Por favor, permítame volver a la ciudad de Waukegan. Mi lema es, donde tu presente se convierte en tu futuro. Gracias.
Ms. Rochelle, can you email me your remarks?
Say again?
Can you email me your remarks?
Oh,
Email.
sí, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gracias. Margaret Carrasco.
First, I'm going to direct my words to agenda item 8G and F, legal counsel. How can legal counsel request for more money when in fact, from the very beginning, they have only been doing half the work? They have been farming out the FOIAs. In case people don't know, I know it's on the agenda, but it's not the first time. They've been doing it from a long time ago. In addition to that, they've been charging for about twice the amount that we previously paid for attorneys under the previous administration of Motley. Plus, they are supposed to work for the taxpayers full-time, 100%, but they are representing other municipalities and other clients at the same time. Next, I'll be addressing city finances. Prior to the city council meeting, we had our finance director here addressing the budget. Waukegan taxpayers, listen up carefully to what I'm about to say. Tonight, I am requesting for, based on the information I've obtained, the resignation of City of Waukegan Police Chief and City of Waukegan Finance Director. Mayor, do not let these two individuals skip out and retire without a full criminal investigation and forensic financial audit. After my team reviewed over 1,000 pages of documents via a FOIA request of evidence, it's crystal clear why certain police officers were allowed to violate the law so many times. It's because they know something that someone doesn't want to come out. I will never forget when the chief of police looked at me in the eye and swore to me that he has submitted the evidence, the crucial video needed for my false police report case. However, when I contacted the state's attorney's office, they said he never gave it to them. I also request an investigation to see if any family member of our finance director is benefiting financially in any way from city business, for example, possibly the bond company that we utilize. I request an investigation to see if there's any fake vendors. I request a criminal investigation into the recent incidents that occurred based on the talk of the street of family members from both of these individuals.
Thank you, Ms. Margaret. Thank you. Jose Guzman.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here to invite everybody to the Waukegan Marina for our 243rd birthday of the United States of America. All picnickers are welcome. They can bring their food, have a great time, see the fireworks. I provide the band and entertainment free of charge. The taxpayers pay nothing. All comes out of my pocket. Please come early because it gets really, really full down there. The Harbor's Edge is gone, so they're going to utilize that spot for veterans. So anybody who's a veteran, it's free of charge. You'll be having seating. They'll have the municipal band there, and I throw a blues, rock and roll, and country band. From 6 to 11 p.m., 9:30 is the fireworks. Please come all. It's free admission. You don't have to pay. There's no parking fees, nothing. Just please try to get down there early because it gets really, really busy down there and they start closing off the streets and minimizing. You guys all know how it is on the 4th of July. So please, please come down there, and we're all welcoming everybody to come down there. Again, free of charge, and if you didn't bring any food or anything, there's stuff to purchase. There's brats, burgers, Italian beefs. There's sandwiches, ice cream. You want a relaxing day with your family, go out fishing. They have bait and tackle, and they can sell you some fishing license also. They have a great 4th of July. They have there for grills and everything for everybody. So come on down there. It's a great time. Just try to get down there as early as possible. It is first come, first service, because it does get pretty busy down there. So again, I welcome all the veterans. Remember, it's free of charge, and they'll have seating there for you, municipal band, all for free, okay? Nothing comes out of the taxpayer money. The city's not paying for anything, the county or anybody, anything. It's all for free for you guys from the Waukegan Port District and myself. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Edgar Sandoval.
Hi, my name is Edgar. I just want to share a few things. First is that as someone who grew up in Waukegan and identifies as part of the LGBTQIA community, it was really wonderful to see our first annual Pride Walk here in the city. So just want to say that that's great. Second, after hearing about the casino for a while now, but hearing about it especially last city council meeting, I did some research. I have access to many journals as a researcher with the University of Washington, and I have found that there is very little information that suggests that there are long-term economic benefits for the city. There are, in fact, some studies that show there are short-term benefits for the city if there are specific provisions in place that ensure that jobs are provided for community members. Otherwise, there's very little material economic benefit for those who are around it. So I just wanted to share that. The third is to share, I encourage everyone to attend the environmental justice rally this Saturday. I teach environmental justice at the University of Washington, so I'll be doing a little bit of direct educational training on the history of EJ as a movement and why it's important for the city of Waukegan to think about it. And lastly, to share again that I'm a researcher with the University of Washington conducting a study on Waukegan. And so if you are interested in sharing anything about the city or just want to share something that maybe you feel is not being talked about, to please get in contact with me. I'd love to talk to you. I invite you to reach out to me. My email is Edgar, EDGAR, S21 @uw.edu. So thank you.
Thank you. Jaslyn Torres.
Good afternoon. My name is Jaslyn, representing American Royal Spirit Pageant. I am a upcoming 5th grader student at Cook Magnet School in Waukegan. I teamed up with United Way to gather school supplies for kids in Lane County that do not have enough funds to purchase school supplies. Mandatory donations are also welcomed. I will be in the back if you would like to donate a small amount of money. Thank you.
Thank you. Diane Verratti.
I truly dislike to speak extemporaneously, but the delayed start of the meeting this evening gave me some time to think. So thank you. I read, thank you, Mr. Rush, and Mr. Sandoval, too. Motion, this is for this evening's agenda. Motion to approve an ordinance amending the City of Waukegan Liquor and Video Gaming Code by establishing a downtown entertainment district. This is a pilot program to create a more highly concentrated area where restaurants with liquor licenses and video games can be operated, with the intention of bringing additional entertainment opportunities to Waukegan citizens and drawing tourism. So I looked up tourism. I have a couple of definitions. It's kind of a squishy word. Here's one. the commercial organization and operation of vacations and visits to places of interest. Here's another one. A collection of activities, services, and industries which deliver a travel experience comprising transportation, accommodations, eating and drinking establishments, retail shops, entertainment, and hospitality services provided for people traveling away from home. So, reading a little further in the agenda, we see that tonight the City Council is going to vote to create 3 liquor licenses, grant waivers for 2 establishments for the installation of video games by suspending the distance requirements that were put into place in early 2018. I was here when you voted to do that. The distance requirements, I believe, were put into place so that we would not experience a proliferation of gambling establishments in our city, much less in our downtown. I don't have a whole lot else to say other than you've heard me before. You know my position on this whole gambling industry. I am grateful for Mr. Sandoval's research, and it bears out exactly what many of us have read and shared with each other about the effects of gambling in our community. If we're going to pass off gambling as attracting tourism, drawing tourism to our downtown, we have to really think twice.
Thank you. Esther Herron. Esther Herron.
Well, you know my name is Esther Herran, and I would like to talk today about how a problem could be turned into opportunity. Waukegan faces many challenges. I would like to talk also about boarding houses and the city regulations. We need to confront reality. In Waukegan, there is a need of housing, decent housing, and many people cannot afford an apartment. There is a demand that has not been covered. For example, a studio apartment without a bedroom, only studio, 1 block away from here, costs $800. This is a high rent for only one person. If we consider the low salaries and the underemployment rate in our community, plus the poor condition of the houses for rent, Waukegan is expensive, the rent in Waukegan is expensive. There are boarding houses considered illegal, but the city supervisor knows they are present, operating for a long time. You don't need to be a magician to know what is this, to have a row of rooms along a corridor with only 1 bedroom to share at the end. Instead of turning our heads, why we don't turn this problem into an opportunity? An entrepreneur or small investor could create hostels or guest houses, paying commercial licenses. It will benefit the city with revenues and the roomer, it's called roomer, no tenant, and also benefit the investor. The city could change the regulations, facilitating this type of businesses and creating incentives. I have traveled to more than 30 states in the United States, and I use sometimes hostels. Itinerary guests interact socially with national, international backpackers, sharing nice kitchen, bathroom, social areas, plus having internet access and planned events. Safety is guaranteed because identification is required. I have a postgraduate degree in hospitality tourism administration, and as you also know, hotels require a big capital investment. The risks that are associated also is a problem, and the return of investment is recovered in a long period. However, hostel and roaming houses are more manageable. Increase businesses, stimulate tourists, promote and advertise the area because could be located close to local attractions. For example, there was a house, they were fixing a house close to here, and many people stop asking
Thank you,
for
Ms.
a
Herron.
room.
Thank you. Ralph Peterson Jr. Mr. Peterson?
Hello, everyone. Citizens, I would like to bring a few things to your attention. We've paid the city attorney, Bob Long, $450,000 a year to provide legal services to the city. This service including handling of FOIAs. Now, Mr. Long turns around and outsources another $1.5–2 million of legal work to other lawyers, making our total bill close to $3 million. Now, Mayor, we're kind of under the impression that we were just going to be paying $450,000. Okay. Well, now we have a Jennifer Witherspoon who has created a company, and if I'm not mistaken, Mayor, you're asking for a vote in terms of giving her a 2-year contract for $50,000 a year to do FOIAs. But isn't that what attorney Bob Long is being paid for to do? I don't really have a problem with that if we're gonna cut Mr. Long's salary by $50,000, because what it basically looks like at the taxpayer's expense, you're giving attorney Long a $50,000 raise, and you're charging the taxpayers another $50,000 to $100,000 to give to Jennifer to do a job that Mr. Long is being paid for. Maybe I'm not seeing this clearly, but if Jennifer is to get this contract, then I feel what you're going to pay her a year should be taken from the now sitting attorney's salary instead of charging us twice, because he won't be doing it anymore. Okay, and I want to say real briefly, truthfully, sir, and I mean that, it's disturbing. I see where we're getting ready to pay Peter Baker another $3.5 million to do work. It breaks my heart and a host of other people when we see this guy doing all this work in a city that's over 80% minority, black and brown, yet none of the faces that you see working are black and brown. I know it's within your authority to do something about that. And as for the next council meeting, I will be speaking in great detail on marijuana and gambling, because all you guys sitting up here have a lot of say-so, and we're talking big millions of dollars. I got a feeling that you guys are gonna pass whatever requirements it is for it to come through. I only ask that you be thinkers.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson.
I'll speak in great
Brother
detail
Blanks.
next week.
Brother Blank, Black Abolition Movement for the Mind, founder, chief president. First of all, I extend my appreciation for you all moving this podium back to its original place. However, the original position of the podium was like this, as I stated before, and that is in the best interest of those who may be hearing impaired, so they can have a full view of what's being said and understood. Okay? Now on another note, you guys did waiver the bid procedures as far as the local hiring. My concern right now pretty much is those that are working in the first ward. What I mean by that, and I brought this to the attention of the city council, I would say last fall, I better yet last spring. And this is Meade Construction Company, which is subcontracted under North Shore or People's Gas, if you will. They are doing millions of, well, thousands, if not millions of dollars in this city of Waukegan. Much of the work that is being done is predominantly at this point in time, what I see is in the first ward. And I do not see a full representation of everybody tax dollars that is paying for this work. What I mean by that is everybody taxes is paying for the repairs and the work that is being done. But it's very disproportionate in the reflection of what I see of our community and the people that are out there. I mentioned this the first time, but much too often when I get out here and I protest these issues, it look like I haven't spoke to anybody about it. So I'm saying this again. I'm asking, in spite of the rules and the laws, you all of the city, you have influence. You have influence. This is the city of Waukegan, and everybody tax dollars that are out there that are funding these repairs, black, Hispanic, brown, white, shall all be working. If these people are out here in the community working and doing repairs, I'd like to see some changes made in the best interest of all the tax dollars that are being paid and be reflected in this community. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you all.
Thank you, Brother Blanks. David Villalobos.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I want to speak briefly about this casino. It's going to be a topic of conversation for months to come. But Mayor, as you mentioned during your interview with the Interim Production Show, you had mentioned back in 1993, the idea of a casino was coming to Waukegan. A few years later, the idea was again brought to the forefront, and then 15 years ago, 2003, it was brought to the forefront, and now present day. And you also said that we need a casino. We want a casino. And I kind of wonder what the we is coming from. If we think back 1993, 26 years ago, our community changes over time. And so that we you speak of back then and the you we speak of in 2003 could have changed and shifted. And so what I would ask of all of you to do is put together a community forum, actually a series of community forums, evenings, weekends, bilingual interpreters there, to actually ask the community what we really want in regards to a casino. I feel like it's been individuals outside the scope of Waukegan that have been pushing this idea, and we're in a place now where it kind of seems like, well, since they want it, we all want it. And I, again, have heard from many constituents and residents of the community that don't want to see this. And so I'd like to see a formal process done where you actually engage the community in this decision, because this decision is larger than all of you up here. When I sat up there, it was larger than all of you up, and than me too. And I said that. I've said that multiple times. This decision is going to affect Waukegan for 20 plus years easily, all right? I'll still be here. Many of you will still be here also. A little bit older, but still here. And so we need to have that input. What do our youth want? Do our teens even want this? I've talked to teens. Bulk of them don't really like it either. Or they might talk about the financial aspect, which is what, again, one of the talking points that's been going on, at the financial boon that it will bring. But again, we need to talk about the social aspect too, and the social impact. And so again, please, 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 put together a series of community forums, evenings, weekends, daytime hours, whatever, just so we can get a broad spectrum of input from this community. So that is my request to you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, that concludes audience time.
Thank you.
Your Honor, you know what I'm going to suggest.
Yes.
Ombudsman, please.
Omnibus, yes. Okay. Let's get a motion on the floor. Motion by Alderman Mozio, second by Alderman Newsom, to do an omnibus. And let's do an omnibus on items 4, A and B. Correction, all items in 4 through all items in
Finance?
No.
Finance.
No? We can take some out of finance.
Yeah, we're gonna take some out, but let's do
like to take
omnibus.
something out of
Let's
finance.
get everything that we want out and then come back on those. I think that'd be better. So we're gonna do a motion on the floor to an omnibus. An omnibus will put items 4 through 10. 4 through 10. Even new business? Let's go new business as well. Might as well go new business as well. Just take out what you want.
Take out.
We'll take out what we want. All right? So there's a motion on the...
This is item 11.
Item 11?
On the agenda, yeah.
All right, I'm missing it. All right, items 4 through item 11.
And anyone that would like to take something out,
just,
Make a motion and we'll take it out.
just give me which item
Just give
would
them
you
the number,
like
I
to
guess,
take
and
out?
you do that. We have to vote on the omnibus first, correct, Counselor? And then take it out?
That's correct.
Or take it out and
Or
then,
you can take it out now.
okay.
Yeah. All right. I know Alderman Florian said she had something that she wanted out. Alderman Florian, what item?
I have a couple, actually.
Sure.
8A,
8A,
8K,
8K,
8AA, and 11F through K.
11,
8K,
F,
8AA.
You said double A?
Yep.
Double A, yeah.
Okay.
11,
So-
what was the number?
We didn't go to 11, we just
Yeah,
went to.
yeah, I said through 11.
I'm sorry? We
So
just
I
went to
said through
9.
11. No, I said through 11.
Oh, through 11?
Yeah, just take all through,
Oh, through
yeah,
11?
through 11, correct.
I say take out 9.
Can I take out T
Hold
under?
on a second, right now, we have Alderman Florian's taking out 8A, 8K, and 8AA.
8K,
And I'd also like to add 9A, actually.
Okay.
and 8
And 9A.
double
Okay.
A.
All right.
Sorry.
And then
9A.
items 11F through K, that's Alderman Florian.
11F,
All right, we're gonna go items E through K,
E through K.
okay?
Okay.
T.
That's Alderman Florian.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, we got Alderman Taylor and Alderman Rivera. Alderman Taylor,
I'd like to take out 11T.
11T,
Agreed.
okay?
And, go on, I'll look through this again real quick.
Alderman Rivera,
That was exactly what I was going to.
11T,
Yes.
Block parties?
Yeah, let's take that out. Take lobbyists, visit Lake County. I'd like to take out,
Mayor Cunningham,
yes, ma'am.
I'd also like to take number 9 out because there hasn't.
that one. You
Oh,
already
okay, I'm
did.
sorry, you did that one? Okay.
about 8A.
You already did. I did that one.
Okay,
Maybe this was a
yeah.
bad idea.
8C,
No.
8C and 8E.
8C
Yes, and 8E, please.
and 8E,
Yes, sir.
okay?
I'm sorry, what was those?
8C, 8E, okay?
Country, more
All right.
kids, please.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a motion for omnibus.
Hold on, we
One
need
moment.
one more.
One moment, please.
Okay.
We need, item 7A requires a supermajority vote, so it needs to be pulled
Item
aside.
7A,
Oh, and then,
7A, right, that requires a majority. Blah, blah, blah. I saw some roadway, more roadway improvements.
I retract that. This one can be voted on as part of the omnibus.
I'm sorry, Mayor, we missed one.
All right, here we go. Right now, we have, okay, which one, ma'am?
8F.
8F?
8,
You should probably put F and G together.
8F,
And G.
Okay, so right now, we got items A, 8A, C, E, F, and G, K, double A, 9A, 11E through K.
and 8DD.
We've also got 11T.
8DD, okay.
Maybe not.
And finally, 11T, the Bog Party.
And 11T. All right, that's the motion on the floor.
T?
All right?
No, I don't.
All right, here we go.
Is the motion with the lobbyist, has that been taken out, Mayor?
No.
It hasn't.
You want to take that out?
I wanted to talk about it.
You're the one that voted to.
All right, take it out. Yes, please, Your Honor, yes.
All right.
Where are we?
I just wanted to.
It's gonna be, it's still gonna be less. All right.
D.
In 8D. All right?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Are we good?
I don't have the motion.
The motion, there's an omnibus motion by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Newsome, to do an omnibus motion. Mine is 8A, 8C, D, E, F, and G, 8K, double A, double D, 9A, 11E through K, and T.
Yep.
All right?
And 11A.
We got 11A.
Did you get 11A?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please. I'm gonna go back and say.
Alderman Kirkwood.
This is on the omnibus.
Alderman Newsome. Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
I haven't done 4 through, oh, yes, we did. All right. Now I'm going to read the motions that we're going to go on. We're starting with 4. Motion to adopt as presented Resolution 19-R-47, 2019 North Illinois Air Show. 4B, motion to approve resolution authorizing execution of an agreement, intergovernmental agreement between the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency and the City of Waukegan, and further authorizing entering into an extended contract with GHD Services, Inc. for 30 days of additional ethylene oxide testing. Reports and communications. Item 5, monthly report. Items B, open bids and requests for proposal. Public Works Infrastructure. Items, motion to authorize proper city official to enter into an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Waukegan and Swalco in regards to clothing and recycling.
Yes.
Motion to approve an ordinance authorize proper city officials to sell via online auction junk vehicles and equipment owned by the city. Online auction is done by Oben Auction Services, Inc. Resolution authorizing sale of 100 South Sheridan Road. 8B, motion to authorize proper city official to follow recommendation of its broker, the Owens Group, and execute policy agreements between the workers' compensation, auto liability, public officials. You know, the number's gonna change, right? Employment practices, coverages for 2019-2020 program year for the total premium of $1,089,590. The Owens Group to certify by the State of Illinois Central Management Services, CMS, in a minority business enterprise. Motion to release payment of $217,381 to YCRG Trust for the City of Waukegan's share of the 2019 cash call required for ongoing engineering and maintenance of the closed Yeoman Creek landfill. Motion to authorize proper city official to execute a 3-year agreement commencing July 1, 2019 with Harris Computer Corporation relative to the licensing maintenance in support of the enterprise resource planning ERP system for a not to exceed amount of $250,688 for 2019-2020, $260,754 for 2020-2021, and $272,539 for 21-22. Motion to authorize proper city officials execute an agreement with GovHR LLC for the purpose of staff augmentation and consulting services for the amount not to exceed $67,730. GovHR USA LLC to certify LLC is certified by the State of Illinois Central Management Service as a women's business enterprise. Item L, motion to approve award of the contract Fence Sale, Inc. for the purpose of cemetery fence installation for for an amount not to exceed $47,644 for the project utilized in 2018 BGO bond funds. Motion to approve the award of a contract to East Jordan for the manhole cash basin frames to augment the 2019 road improvement program for an amount not to exceed $50,000. This project utilized 2018 GO bond funds. Motion to approve the award of a contract to Ozinga for water and sewer as well as roadway commodities for an amount not to exceed $164,085, with $110,000 of this project utilizing 2018 GO bonds. Motion to approve the award of the contract to Peter Baker Water and Sewer as well as roadway not to exceed $38,500.
What?
$38,500.
280, 278,
No, this is 278.50.
Where we at? I'm on out. I apologize. Motion to approve the contract of Peter Baker for water and sewer as well as roadway commodities for an amount not to exceed $270,850, with $216,000 of this project utilized 2018 AGO bonds. Motion to approve the award of a contract to East Jordan for water hydrants for an amount not to exceed $38,500. Motion to approve award of a contract to USA LCO for water treatment chemicals for an amount not to exceed $63,250. Motion to approve the award of a contract to Donhu Carbon for water treatment chemicals, carbon for an amount not to exceed $14,863. Item S, motion to approve the award of a contract to Alexandria Chemicals for water treatment chemicals for an amount not to exceed $14,923. Item T, motion to approve the award of a contract to Pinnacle for the water treatment chemicals for the amount not to exceed $22,000. Item U, motion to approve the award of a contract to Caris Chemicals for chemical treatment chemicals for an amount not to exceed $34,100. Item V, motion to approve the award of the contract to SNF Polydon for water treatment chemicals for an amount not to exceed $11,000. Item W, motion to approve the award for the contract to Caris Chemicals for the water treatment chemicals for an amount not to exceed $14,864. Item X, motion to approve the award of a contract to Badger Meters for the purpose of purchasing a water meters into inventory over an amount not to exceed $45,000 for fiscal year 2019, 2020, and $46,250 for fiscal year 2020 and 2021. Item Y, motion to approve award of contracts Seagraves Fire Apparatus LLC for the purpose of purchasing a fire ladder truck for an amount not to exceed $1,331 and $1,331,900 for this project utilized 2018 BGO bond funds. Motion. Item Z, motion to approve resolution accepting $250,000 grant from the Illinois Housing Development Authority's Abandoned Residential Property Municipal Release Program. This grant is 100% reimbursable with no local match requirement. Item B, motion to approve the renewal of the contract with R.J. Harris and Associates for the purpose of group leadership and human resource skills training for an amount not to exceed $108,505. Item CC, motion to approve a contract with Urban Design Ventures LLC to consult on preparation of the 2020-2024 5-year consolidation plan in the 2020 annual action plan for CDBG in a total amount not to exceed $47,950. Item EE, motion to approve the award of a contract to Campanella and Sons for bioswale improvement for the amount not to exceed $508,782. This project is funded from grant funds of 2018 CWS bond funds. Item FF, a motion to authorize proper city officials to execute a 4-year contract commencing July 1, 2019 with Main Star relative to the licensing, maintenance, and support of building and code enforcement computerized solution for a not to exceed amount of $377,000. Number 9, nothing. Number 10.
9A.
I'm sorry?
We're gonna pull out 9A, right?
We're skipping
Okay.
9A.
Yeah, right,
Yeah, we're skipping.
go ahead.
Item 10, number 10, new business. Item A, motion to approve vendor contracts for grass cutting and debris removal from vacant and abandoned properties.
No, we're gonna pull that
That's
one
item
out.
11.
I'm sorry.
That's part of it.
Oh, it is, it's stapled. Okay, item 11. That's item 11, everyone.
Yeah.
Item A, motion to approve vendor contract for grass cutting and debris removal.
No.
No,
that
we're
one
gonna
was
take
pulled
that
off.
one out. Skip over that one.
A is out.
Go to B.
That one's out.
Item B, motion to approve an ordinance authorizing execution of an annexation agreement for 12709 and 12719 West Granville Avenue. Item C, motion to approve an ordinance annexing certain territory into the city of Waukegan, namely 12709 and 12719 West Granville Avenue. Item 11D, motion to approve zoning calendar 2583 map amendment rezoning of 12709 and 12718 West Granville Avenue from CR Conservation Recreation to R2 Single Family Residential pursuant to annexation agreement. Down to item 11L, motion to approve vendor payments dated June 17, 2019, a total amount of $2,095,339.88. Motion item 11M, motion to approve regular payroll dated June 7, 2019, a total amount of $1,561,175.06. 11N, motion to approve PBLC holiday cashback payroll dated June 7, 2019, in a total amount of $4,693.17. 11O, motion to approve final payout, names listed on the agenda, payroll dated June 7, 2019, a total amount of $17,592.06. 11P, motion to approve elected official civil service stipend payroll dated June 7, 2019, a total amount of $6,566.66. 11Q, motion to approve local 150 comp time cash out payroll dated June 7, 2019, a total amount of $399.08. 11R, motion to approve employee reimbursement payroll dated June 7, 2019, a total amount of $1,849.82. Motion 11S, motion to approve a fee waiver and a waiver of noise to exceed 50 decibels, 712, 714, from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Greek Fest, St. Demetrius, Lake County, special events permit pending staff approval. And that's it. Any questions to the motion? All right, roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
All right, now with the items left on the agenda, let's go to the committee, Finance and Purchasing Committee, and that we Alderman Newsome.
So item A, we took
Item
out.
A, C, D, E, F, and G.
Item A, motion to authorize the proper city officials to negotiate the terms of a 4-year contract with Insurance Program Managers Group, IPMG, effective July 1st, 2019, with the estimated amount of $357,000, with $117,000 in the first year and $80,000 each year thereafter, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Seager. Any questions to the motion?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So as I read through this, it said that there was 2 things that were optional. There's an optional bill review that could save money down the road and a tactical athlete option, and I just wondered if we are participating in those 2 things.
Katie?
What is it?
The tactical athlete is something that we would like to explore, but we don't have the information, and it's something that we could potentially add on later. Right now, the main focus of this contract and the negotiation is to get services for our TPA in place effective July 1st. But we also don't know if Tactical Athlete has services up here because this, the company IPMG is based out of St. Charles. So that's going to require a little bit more discussion, which we don't unfortunately have time for with this current contract. Bill review will also be one of those additional discussion items. The contract does come with bill review, which will give us the low state bill review. And I believe off the top of my head that we have additional discounts if it's in network with their providers.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Anybody else?
Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome. Aye. Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Item C, motion to authorize a contribution in the amount of $25,000 to Waukegan Main Street for the 2019-2020 fiscal year for the purpose of supporting the organization's mission of revitalization of downtown Waukegan, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Mosio. Any questions?
Do we ever get like a report of what they do? Every year we give them money. Do we ever find out what exactly they accomplish? How do we measure what Main Street is providing?
Okay, we can have them give you, there's some things that are in, but we can have Josh give you some details of the things that they're doing and working with our
The
Public Relations
downtown.
Department.
Yeah, I'd like you to see something from them.
Okay.
Take the vote, though.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Item D, motion to appoint Cornerstone Government Affairs Incorporated as state lobbyist commencing June 15, 2019 and expiring December 31st, 2020 for a total retainer of $126,000 plus reasonable out-of-pocket expenses, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Mosio. Any questions to the motion?
Yeah, Alderman, or Mayor, I've been down this road before. Isn't that what Lincoln, Rita Mayfield are for? Those are our lobbyists in the state. Not any slam against them. I know that lobbyists a lot of times grease the wheels to get things done. The last time I think we sort of got, I think Mayor Sabanjan had it. Was that right on that?
Yeah, Mayor Sabanjan.
And I don't know what we really got out of it. I mean, maybe we got a few things, but I don't know if we got anything that was worth that amount of money. And then, and again, you know me, I got to be sort of a smart aleck. Reasonable out-of-the-pocket expenses, that's spoken like a true lobbyist. Reasonable out-of-the-pocket expenses, excuse me. I don't know, lobbyists just don't particularly sit well with me.
And I hear what you're saying, Alderman. I can say this. There was 2 items that we put on the wish list when we received those things already. Far exceed this.
Okay.
As we move forward, I don't know how to put it, the best way to put it, but you have to be in the face. We need someone in the face of those legislators. Whether Terry and Rita can carry the ball, but I'm here to tell you, you must be in the face of those different committees. As I've been going to Springfield, testifying, trying to get this, trying to get that. That's the way to do business from federal level to state level. It's just, is it an unnecessary evil? But we must have someone down there knocking on that door for us. And that's just where we're at right now.
Yeah.
I will also add that with this agreement, either party can terminate
Yeah,
30 days.
I talked to mayor staff and they said we could terminate it. And
We see
on
that
a
as
month-to-month
enough for us.
basis, we could terminate, is it by monthly? We're paying them by monthly, correct?
30 days.
30
Yeah,
days
30
written
days.
notice.
I know it's so many different things that are going on, and there's so many other communities who are vying for the same thing that we're vying for. We gotta have that voice, and that's just, this is the voice.
Question, Mayor.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So if we terminate the contract, do we still have to pay the retainer fee?
This said
I mean, it just ends with what we paid them to date, or do we still have the?
Up to since you have to give 30-day notice, you have to pay to the end of the 30-day
Okay.
notice period.
But you don't have to pay the whole $126,000?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor. Aye. Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
No.
Item E, motion to authorize a contribution in the amount of $31,188 to the Lake County ILCVB Visit Lake County 2019-2020 fiscal year for the purposes of supporting the marketing partnership, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Mozio. Any questions to the motion?
Yeah, I got a question. Again, how do we measure what our return on our contribution is? I don't recall ever seeing anything in Lake County's advertisements regarding Waukegan. And specifically, we have two very large events annually here. That's the Waukegan Air Show and Scoop. And I never see anything in the county. Maybe I just miss it, but are they advertising for us? Are they promoting Waukegan? What do we get? And how do we measure that? How do we know? How do we monitor? Gave you $31,000, gave you $32,000. How did that benefit Waukegan?
Well, is David here? David, come on up. And before David comes up. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he was prepared.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And let me just say before David speaks along with his special guest, you know, one of the things that we've been missing in cities throughout this country has been missing is how to market their community. Marketing a community is not just us sitting up here. It is voices throughout this community, outside the borderlines of Waukegan, who must speak when we're not there. What they have been doing over the last probably 5 years, boosting our presence from our downtown to our harbor to other activities, just putting it in that Lake County brochure, where now it is being exposed to the people beyond the walls of Waukegan. This $31,000 from a marketing campaign, typical marketing campaign runs you, if you're doing it on an annual basis, $150, $200. We are a part of any and all communications that goes out as it relates to all county tourism, all county activities, whether it be Waukegan, Gurnee, Lake Forest, Vernon Hills. We are now being mentioning in this broader scope. So as we all begin to move forward, and we want not just Fountain Square, not just downtown, there must be exposure beyond the 9 aldermen, the mayor. There must be exposure outside of that. And this is what the Lake County tourism is all about for us. I say that, and I'm putting my marketing hat on to say that this is a very inexpensive for what the product we want in return. And that's building that brand name of Waukegan, Illinois. David?
Well, thank you so much, Mayor and City Council members. This is a great opportunity to answer that question, those very important questions on what are the metrics that we apply at the organization that is Visit Lake County. Just to clear up a little bit of confusion, it's not a department of the county government. This is a separate agency, separate nonprofit organization that's a group of like-minded communities that have pooled their wealth and their resources to try to highlight Lake County as a destination for tourism, and Waukegan is smack dab at ground zero in that location with our lakefront and multitude of events. But I don't need to say too much. You all listen to me very often, but I brought Maureen Reedy, who is the president of Visit Lake County, with us tonight to speak a little bit about what are those metrics and what do they decide is a successful operation, and also a little bit about the other community partners that are involved in making this all happen. Maureen?
I think the mayor did a pretty good job of explaining the importance of marketing, but we're a collective organization. So we're a regional tourism organization, and we work with communities all over Lake County. And so we work to present the image of Lake County and really see Lake County as a brand. But within that, Waukegan also has their own identity, and we track everything we do. We're really trying to enhance your public image to visitors and really grow the amount of visitors coming to Waukegan and tracking how many are staying at hotels in Waukegan. And we're marketing all your attractions from the theater, festivals, community events, Park District facilities, the harbor, the lakefront, beaches, hotels, restaurants, even craft breweries now that you have those in Waukegan. So your partnership enables you to reach visitors in a really cost-effective manner. It's a modest investment that we leverage with our state tourism grant. We're fortunate to receive a grant that's based on hotel tax receipts collected throughout Lake County. Based on a formula, then we can tap into that, and then communities throughout Lake County can all leverage a modest investment, and we all work together to promote Lake County. We track everything from, I can tell you how many events last year we promoted for Waukegan on our website. It was 190 different events for Waukegan were on our website, which gets over 1 million page views a year. We promoted Waukegan events through social media and through blogs. We write a lot of blogs about all the things to do throughout Lake County. Waukegan events and businesses were mentioned in 154 blogs. We wrote last year, that's a lot of blogs, talking about everything to do all over Lake County. But like last week was a blog about like the top 5 events last weekend. And of course we had Art Walk, we had Pride Walk and Soccer Walk, all mentioned in the blog. We had a picture of the municipal beach in the blog, and we also had a picture from Art Park. We also have a website called Boating Lake County, and that speaks to all the water recreation throughout Lake County, from Lake Michigan to the chain. And again, you've got Waukegan Harbor in there, and you've got the marina, charter fishing, those kinds of things. It's a great portal for visitors to go to, because we know visitors are really drawn to water, and that's one of the, it's obviously a huge asset here in Waukegan. So we really promote the beach a lot and the harbor. We work on recruiting groups, bringing in Navy reunions. They go to the graduation at the base, and then they stay in hotels here in Waukegan and throughout the county. Bring in sports tournaments. We've worked with the Park District on bringing in soccer tournaments and basketball tournaments and baseball tournaments. And some of those we recruited probably 6 or 7 years ago, and now they're coming back every year in Waukegan. So we like to think of visitors as temporary taxpayers. They come here and they spend money and then they leave, so you do not have to provide the services that you do to residents, but they really contribute to the vitality of your city and your neighborhoods here. And so it's all about this collective partnership. That's what we're really doing. So you're able to leverage this small investment, and I think you really can reap the benefits. And we did supply a return on investment document to all of you as part of your packet to kind of outline all of the things we did from Waukegan this past year. And David Motley is vice chair on our board, so he's like your sounding board. He's your, the communication person. And he's always talking about all the things that are going on in Waukegan, and so we make sure we have all of those things in our calendar events. We really try to do a good job to represent Waukegan. I think you're one of the jewels of Lake County. You have so many assets here. So, you're one of our key communities. So thank you for your continuing partnership that's been, as I think David mentioned, well over a dozen years. I think you've been involved now as a partner with Visit Lake County.
Great. Thank you. That answers my question.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom. Aye. Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Item F, motion to appoint Witherspoon Legal Services as FOIA legal counsel for an annual retainer of $48,000 and out-of-pocket expenses estimated to be $7,000 for a period of 2 years commencing June 18, 2019 through
2020, I think. Yeah, 2020.
2021.
through June 16, 2021. And I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Mozio. Any questions to the motion? Alderman Florian.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I contacted the corporate counsel today about this question, because the next thing we're gonna vote on is retaining him for a year, and in his explanation of his retainer, he says that he does the FOIA requests or the FOIA work. So I asked him why we're getting another person to do something if he's already doing it. So I'd like to have a discussion about that, of why we need a second person when we already are paying him to do that.
Well, and you're absolutely right, ma'am. But let me just say this to you. Our FOIA request has certainly increased. And the amount of time that our current corporate counsel is spending is about 30% of their time with the other activities that we have are going to be having as we move forward in the next 3 or 4 months. That is why we moved to having that person work with the clerk's office directly for those services. And that's it in a nutshell.
Your Honor.
But you just said 3 or 4 months, and this is a contract for 2 years.
Well,
Your Honor.
What's going to be coming up?
Your Honor.
what's going to be coming up in the next 3 or 4 months. Hold on, that's all, man. The time that it is now taking one person to handle that. Our corporate counsel handles all the city of Waukegan, all departments. Hold on a second. Alderman Moiseo, then Alderman Alderman Taylor.
Council Long gave a pretty good explanation during the committee.
Okay.
FOIA requests have increased. Not only has that increased, but with the new legislation coming from the state, he's also going to have to do more work when it comes to marijuana and things like that. There's going to be a lot of ordinances and legal things that are going to come down the road, because there's going to be also some, what's the word I'm looking for, people that were in prison for expungements that are going to come forward. So there's going to be a lot more work. And let me just tell you a little something about FOIAs, because I've been around for a while. You got to make sure those are done right. Release a FOIA that hasn't been redacted the right way and has an employee's name in it. You'll start writing zeros on checks. That employee is going to come back and sue you if it hasn't been redacted the right way. So that may be the reason that we need another person to do it. FOIA requests are not a simple thing of, oh, here you go. Oh, here you go. No. They got to be gone over, they got to be redacted, they have to be looked at, they have to be made sure they're done the correct way. And if those are increased, and then we're going to have increased ordinance and legislations on all these expungements from what the state just did, that's, in my opinion, probably why we need another person to do that can just concentrate on FOIAs. Trust me, you do not want a mistake on a FOIA. Am I correct on that, Counselor?
Okay.
Thank you.
We're going to go to Alderman Taylor, then Alderman Bolton. Okay. Alderman Taylor.
I specifically asked this question because our FOIA requests have gone up about 10%. And if you add what we're going to be sending out, it's about 12% plus another 2% that he wants in the initial contract. So there's a little bit of an imbalance there. But I do believe there will be more legislation coming with the casino and marijuana. Because in all of the state's glory of gifting all these things to us, we now have to make sure that we have the laws to cover all these things. Just like when we put video gaming into play, look how much time we spend researching all these liquor licenses, all these gaming licenses. It adds to our legal costs. So there's prices to pay for some of the things that we do, and the legal fees are one of them. So don't expect our legal fees to go down during the next year or two as we move into the adding casino and marijuana to our state, and who knows, maybe prostitution. Who knows what'll come.
Human trafficking.
So, like I said, I think the justification is that we need to spend more time researching the legalities of this, including expunging records and all of that kind of thing. So I think that was the explanation and the justification that we needed for that. What was the big difference in the expense?
Alderman Florian.
Well, so are what we're saying here then is we'll take FOIA away from current council, put it on this new person, and so that 20% of the time they were spending on the FOIA is now gonna be spent on this other stuff coming down the road. Is that what we're basically saying?
Theoretically, yes.
Like, I don't think you can put a percentage on it.
Yeah, I don't want
Right.
to try to put a percentage on it, but what I want to
Well,
try
I
to do
thought
is.
somebody said 20%. I don't know who it was.
You can't put a percentage.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome. Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
All right.
Item G, motion to reappoint Daniels Long and Pensell LLC as Corporation Counsel for a retainer of $454,200 and out-of-pocket expenses estimated to be about $6,000 for the 2019-2020 fiscal year, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Mozio. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome. Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Item K, motion to approve the award of a contract to Starworth Underground LLC for the purposes of a cemetery sound and retaining wall construction for an amount not to exceed $310,000. This project utilizes 2018B GO bond funds, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Mozio, correction, motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Mozio. Any questions to the motion? Alderman Florian.
Forgot me already, huh?
Can't do that one.
As I read through this, it says that in there, if we don't have to pay sales tax, we can deduct $9,500 from the contract. Do we have to pay sales tax?
No.
Okay, so then there is actually a $9,500 credit off of that then. And then it also said something about clean spoils, and that would add to the contract. Is that like the dirt that they dig up, how clean it is when they dig it up?
Mark, maybe
Okay,
you
he's
could help us on this one. I don't know where the spoils are.
The spoils would be any excavated material. Say they're gonna take out some of the sidewalk that's there and excavate down to put new stone in for new sidewalk.
Can you speak up just?
You speak in the mic.
I'm sorry, yeah, Mike.
The clean spoils would be excavated material from the sidewalk. When you're digging, you're creating spoils, so that's the soil that you have to throw away.
Oh.
And if it's contaminated in some way, you're saying then that's not clean?
Well, it would be clean construction and demolition debris. If you were testing that soil, that would go, I don't know what would happen. We aren't planning on testing because it's just excavated under the sidewalk. It's
Okay.
existing soil.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Item AA, motion to approve the award of a contract to Enterprise Fleet Management for the purpose of leasing and maintenance for building and code vehicles for a period of 5 years for $76,218 per year, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Mozio. Any questions to the motion? Alderman Florian.
I thought we had sort of a policy right now where we weren't replacing any vehicles. Is that true? Like the police department and different places weren't replacing any vehicles at this time?
No, we're,
Okay.
no. Actually, this is gonna be a much better, much better, what's the best word I wanna say? Situation for utilizing code enforcement vehicles over the next 5 years. The vehicles they're in right now.
I saw the list. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Not only that, just what they do. We're getting, was it pickup trucks? The pickup trucks, Mike? So with code enforcement, they work in their office. I mean, their office is their car. They pick up a lot of things. Utilizing these pickup trucks is gonna give them a lot more flexibility to really work within their wards and pick up things more real. Because not right now, a lot of signs, maybe it could be a tire or whatever. Drop it in the pickup, bring it to Public Works as we're there. And how we're gonna be utilizing not only the cars, but the vehicle maintenance system that we get for free, that we get to utilize citywide. That is the biggest advantage that we're gonna have with this program. So I'm very excited for Mike and his team.
And with leases, I know sometimes the mileage is limited, that won't be an issue with these.
Mike, I don't think so with these, because we have an option in the end to do something with them if we wanted to, but Mike can explain.
Yeah, with the lease,
Mike.
In the mic.
Hit the mic.
Into the mic, Mike.
Mike, into the mic.
they average out the mileage per year. They've gone over our current mileage and projecting our future mileage, and we have the option to sell vehicles back. So after the 5 years, we could end up selling it back, rolling it over, basically.
Okay. Well, some wards are small and some, like my ward is very spread out, Ann's ward is very spread out. Our people are gonna use more miles than some of the more.
What they're figuring out is on average, it's about 8,000 miles.
Oh,
A year.
Each one is around there.
Okay. And they could trade, can they trade if like one guy's going over and another guy's not? Can you like kinda?
Probably could.
Okay.
Yeah, with your fleet program, typically, they got it really down to a science. When they say average 8 miles, they're talking about the number of, the fleet of vehicles that you have, and it's divided by all of them. So one goes up, the other one is down. But again, the best part for us is at the end, we can do a couple of things. We can go back and get brand-new vehicles, or we can come back and buy those and move on. So it just depends on what our use will be toward the end of these. But for code enforcement, for the code enforcement department, this is probably the best option for us buying new cars. A couple of cars with over 2 years, or three a pop, we're probably gonna pay $70,000, $80,000 for 3. We're getting 14 vehicles over, you just can't beat it. And it's, they're driving, they're just all constantly moving. So I'm really excited for them with this, but I'm more excited about the Enterprise Rent-A-Car Fleet Management Program, which can be useful in determining what cars is there, accurate, and they run it for us. Great.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Good questions, Alderman Florian. Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Floria.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Item DD, motion to approve the award of a contract to Peter Baker and Son Company for roadway improvements for an amount not to exceed $3,537,377. This project is utilizing 2018 AGO bond funds, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Mozio. Any questions to the motion?
Yeah, I got a question here.
Yes, sir.
On this one, we had an email and follow-up documentation that called out all of the specific streets that were gonna be repaired under this one?
Under this particular, yes, under this contract, yes, sir.
Okay, so my question then is, what about all the others?
Well, this is the first. You're gonna have, is it 3 more, Mark? We're looking at, they're gonna be coming to you kind of back to back. But let Mark explain.
Okay.
Right now, we're planning a second package.
Wait,
That's
excuse
going to
me,
include.
excuse me. Who are you?
I'm sorry, Mark Kozlowski, Infrastructure Engineering, we're the civil engineering consultant.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
We're managing the capital improvement program as well.
Great.
Thanks. Phase 1 is the list of streets that you have seen.
Mm-hmm.
We're planning phase 2, which will be a supplemental list that has come from the Public Works Department. In both of those packages will be sidewalk and likely some sewer work. But those lists of streets, I think that's the question, is what about the other ones?
Yeah.
We have those as generated in the phase 2 package now,
Okay.
and we can share that as well. There's also a map on the city's website that shows, I believe, Mike,
is the, actually the map's right outside the chambers, the 2019 road program.
Yeah, so the total road program is outside. However, we've broken it up because when we first, how I really wanted to do it was this huge deal. Mark, being a lot of reluctance from me, but Mark is saying, listen, this is too big to bring one. Let's do it in phases. And that way we do sidewalks, inlets, curb and gutter, then streets. But doing it away we can not only manage but watch it and control it. So that's why this is first. The second one, I'm really pushing to have it ready. I like to be ready the 1st of July for bidding. And to come back to here to present July 17th, but that's to be followed. So that's what we're doing, is just doing it in phases, everybody. So all the streets you see out there will be done, they're just gonna be done in phases.
Right. So the hope was that the value of each contract would be lower so that you would get more competition during the bidding process.
Right, well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was my next question, to ensure that all of these contracts are actually going out to bid, not just for the road repairs, but generally speaking, are all these contracts that we're passing or issuing being bid out as an example, and not to pick on anybody, but just like BB, and this is a slight segue, but I think you follow where I'm going here. Item BB, the motion for R.J. Harrison Associates, that was a $808,000 contract. Was that contract let out to bid?
Has to be.
108.
Yeah, $108,505.
That is the extension of what we already had.
Yeah, that's a continuation of an existing contract.
Okay.
That's working with the police department. But to answer your original question, yes, that's why if you notice in the first, it says, and reports and communication, open bids or requests. That's when the bids, yeah, so these go out for 10 days?
There's a minimum of 10 calendar days for bidding.
Yeah, minimum 10 calendar days for those bids to go out. And I can kind of talk to you offline and kind of, and what this is. Yeah, to answer your question, yes, they go out for bid.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification, Mayor.
We got Alderman Bolton, then Alderman Mosier. Alderman Bolton?
Just clarification, was there any other participants that participated in this bid for this particular job?
Yes. For the roadway improvements, we had requests for construction documents from 4 companies. We received a bid from Peter Baker and then...
Can you speak up just a little bit more?
Oh, sorry. We received requests for documents from 4 companies for the roadway improvements, phase 1. We received 1 bid.
And that goes to my point, Your Honor. A little history lesson about Peter Baker. Peter Baker's had the road contract in Waukegan for many, many years. Lately, they've had it because they're the only game in town. They have an asphalt plant, so if anybody was going to outbid them, they'd have to get the asphalt from Peter Baker anyway. So yes, Peter Baker has a corner on the market because they bought an asphalt plant and put it on their thing. That's why they're able to outbid everybody. Simple economics, people. Simply, so we got all these people that come up here, and another thing as a side note, everybody that I know, I don't know everybody at Peter Baker, but everybody that I know is a person of color that works there, except one.
Yeah, I mean, and we've talked about this several times in our meetings. We have what is called a capital improvement planning meeting every Wednesday. Is it every Wednesday? It's typically after our staff meeting. And the fact of the matter is that the Peter Baker owns their own asphalt company. They own it. Typically, those who get asphalt within Lake County is right, Mike. They go to Peter Baker for it. So when he comes to bid on jobs, not just Waukegan, but Lake County, throughout Lake County, he's the only guy that has a plant. We do have, Mark, maybe you can just speak on this, we have requirements for the asphalt. Talk a little bit about that so you get a better understanding.
I think the difference between what we're doing now, what we were brought in to do is to put in project controls on the contractor. So we're doing whatever we can to hold the contractor accountable for the work, which includes technical specifications that are detailed. I have a copy of them here, as well as material testing, independent material testing, to ensure that we're getting IDOT or Illinois Department of Transportation worthy or passing materials and warranties.
Mayor,
Right. Alderman Taylor.
can we make sure that the aldermen get a copy of Phase 2 and Phase 3, like, now rather than
Well,
later?
as soon as we get it together, the goal is to get this going, kind of see what we have left, and it could be some savings because of the measurements they have in place. Then we can use that as a means for how much money we have left to do Phase 2, then Phase 3. But as soon as I get the package, well, I shouldn't say I, Mark and Mike get the package done, we'll get it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, but as far as the road program, the streets have already been outlined. Those are the streets. It's just what phase of the streets are gonna be done. So that is your road program. All of those out there are not on Phase 1. Some are gonna be on Phase 2 and Phase 3. And we probably, with the rain the way it is, we're probably gonna be moving into next year, finishing up Phase 3. I'm almost certain. Mike, you think we probably, Phase 3 might be probably beginning of 2020? I'm almost certain, because the rain is just killing us.
Yes. It's killing everybody. Farmers, everybody.
I'm not a construction guy, but I can tell you, June is gone.
Actually, what will happen is the determination will be based on price. So we have Phase 1, which is 3 point whatever, and that's basically for concrete and for blacktop. Then you'll have Phase 2, which we have basically the numbers set as far as what we anticipate for the pricing. Phase 3 will probably be quite reduced, and depending on, the dollars were a little higher this time around. And if it works out, and the weather permitting, the way we've done it this year is we used a lot of the sidewalk program to prep roads in advance, which is going to save a lot of time. The only thing we'll have to worry about basically is curbs and the grinding and setting manholes and such. So the way we've done it this year, as opposed to what we dealt with last year, so I wanted to make sure that we did the sidewalks and a lot of things to get it out of the way because that takes time. So hopefully we can finish it this year, if not next year.
Yeah, and every day it rains, it
And
puts you back.
This upcoming week is
Yeah, we're doing
Tuesday
this
night,
week.
Wednesday, Thursday, and all the way through next week, so.
Okay. So yeah, it's gonna be a busy month, a busy summer for us, but quite productive.
And then
But to your
also-
point, Alderman Taylor, we'll try to get those to the aldermen as soon as we get them fixed up, and we're working on them. Mark probably has some closing remarks.
So we have the list of streets. We're working on the construction documents right now. What is going to drive the streets that are shown is what we think the estimate is going to be. Let's say there are 20, but the budget that's allowed in the program can only afford 15. We'll give you that list of 15 streets, and then we will start planning for the future, next year, next year, next year. And that'll be the same for the sidewalk program, the roadway program. There's funding for sewer and water main and sanitary sewer, storm sewer, water main. So those are the kinds of things that we're looking at as a whole. But the lists that are coming out are contingent on this bid, what the unit prices are, and what we think the estimate is going to be for Phase 2.
And I'm gonna follow up with that.
Oh, that's true. We have an alleyway program as well.
Yeah, alleyway program, and all those things are going to be there. So we are going to be very busy, very, very busy this summer, and and Mark and his team will be there physically walking these streets, so we can get some good, solid numbers out there
Yeah, actually, so everybody knows, we did promise to give a bi-weekly status report to the mayor, and we can share that with council, which is going to sort of be the metric on what we've performed the previous 2 weeks. So we can say we've walked 47 streets right now at 25 feet wide or whatever it is, and we've walked miles and miles and miles and evaluated pavement and curb and gutter and sidewalk, and we want to put those numbers in front of you to see, so that you know this is what we're taking care of.
And this will be the future of our road program as we move forward over the next 10 to 15 years.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
All right, motion by Alderman Mozio, second by Alderman Kirkwood, to approve the ordinance amending the City of Waukegan Liquor and Video Gaming Code by establishing a downtown entertainment district. This is a pilot program to create a more highly concentrated area where restaurants and with liquor license and the video games can be operated with the intention of bringing additional entertainment opportunities to Waukegan citizens and drawing tourism. Any questions to the motion? Alderman Florian. You want to defer to Alderman Taylor? Alderman Taylor.
I just think if we're gonna make a drastic change like this, that hasn't even gone through committee. It needs to be discussed where the public has an input. You just don't do something like this without having a committee meeting minimum that people can come and voice their concerns.
Okay.
So it just should be held over to another time or whatever.
I wish we could do that, but you made a prior decision that prompted this decision. That's the only reason we're doing it,
Which is what?
which is the brewery. You can't, you made a decision to bring the brewery here. And I know you weren't here, but we made a decision to bring the brewery here in the urban edge. Well, if we don't establish this, they can't open.
Oh, geez.
Why can't they just get a liquor license?
Because they're,
Within 400 feet of a church, as it turns out. We leased property that seems to be technically incapable of holding a license. How's that?
Well, this has happened on a number of times. We had Sunset House come and we all listened and then we found out, oh, they weren't even eligible. Like, why are we not screening that before it ever gets to council?
Well,
You know, let me.
hold on a second now. Go ahead.
Have we had a proliferation of gambling? Yes. All one has to do is look at the gambling report and see why every business, I'm surprised somebody doesn't want it in their house next, because it generates a lot of money for the businesses, okay? Everybody wants it. We need to get a hold on it somehow, but I've said this before, distance is not a good, in my opinion, I might be wrong, I'll argue anybody that wants to. I don't think that the distance is a good requirement. There needs to, I don't know what it is, and I've said that for 2 years, and no one can come up with a good answer for me up here. We want to regulate, well, how, we came up with the distance first because everybody in the council said, we want to regulate it. And we settled on distance. And now, as you can see, we have all these exceptions that are not working out. But every business that goes in wants the machine because they see it's easy money. All they have to do, it's done for them. The state does everything, or the gaming operator does everything for them, and they get a check. Every businessman wants it. And to me, it's a little bit difficult when you said to somebody, you can have it, and then the next person comes and says, no, you can't have it. And they say, well, why? You're not being equal to me.
That's right.
So we as a council have got to figure out how we're going to regulate this. Like I said, I don't think distance is a good answer. I don't. I do believe in the free market. Sometimes the free market, the only way to get the free market is just for the free market and the business just to, if you want it to go away, don't go there. But I know that's not going to happen. Just look at the numbers. I mean, my God, it's crazy. Why do you think the state passed a gaming bill? They're broke. They need money. What's the two biggest issues in the state of Illinois? Property tax and pensions. People are leaving the state for those two reasons. What else did you want the state to do? I'm not saying that's right, but they could cut services as we can up here. We can cut services. We did it before. Cut services means layoffs, cut people, firemen, policemen, code enforcers, janitors. Or you find another revenue stream. And the state was in the same boat. So what they say? They said expand gaming, like it or not, and legalize marijuana. Because they need revenue. The number one issue, I've been up here for 20 years, and number one, it wasn't always number one, but it is now, is property tax. Alderman, lower my property tax. I'm tired of property tax. We'll have it up here soon. My property tax, my property tax, my property tax. You guys got to find another revenue stream. I'm open to any ideas anybody's got about another revenue stream. Anyone. All right? But the reason this is proliferated is because it's easy. I'm not saying it's right, but it's easy. For businesses and for the state, it's easy. But if we don't want to turn it into Little Las Vegas, which we're darn near there,
Why not?
we got to come up with a way to regulate this. And in my opinion, distance is not the way, because every council meeting, we got to look up, no, up, up, up. It ain't working. I'm sorry, that was my diatribe for the night. Go ahead.
Well, I want to comment about we should vet these. Well, when the issue of that brewery came in, we wanted to, but there was a push, a strong push from the council. Why shouldn't we have it? So we were only doing what some of the council members at that time wanted to do. Now that we were ready to issue the liquor license to them, come to find out it was in that 100 feet. We now are trying to find, to Alderman Moiseau's point, we're trying to find workarounds some of these issues. These are the workarounds. So we're moving to at least trying to, on a pilot program, will this be something throughout the city we can move to? The issue's gonna come up again and again. But right now, for the downtown, this is the way to get around it. Alderman Florian.
I have two questions. So you
Yes.
mentioned it's a pilot program.
Yes.
So if you issue these new gaming and liquor licenses, if the pilot program doesn't work out, are you gonna take them away? Like, what's pilot about it?
Well, what's pilot right now for us is to see if this is something we want to go citywide.
Okay. Then my next question is, we're apparently getting a casino. If we keep inviting more of these, these mini casinos, whatever we're gonna call them, these gaming places in, aren't we doing them a disfavor? Because down the road, the casino is going to suck up a good portion, I believe. I've been told I'm wrong, but I personally believe a lot of the gaming people, money, dollars are gonna go to the casino. So now we've created all these businesses, not to mention the ones that already exist, like Bertrand's, and I agree with Alderman Moiseo, they've become used to getting this money, they rely on it. I think Bertrand's would be closed if they didn't have gaming. Not that that's a good thing, but I think the casino's gonna change all that. And so if we create more of these places, I think we're just going down a path of destruction in a way. I feel like I'm watching Waukegan turn into Bedford Falls.
Well, it's funny that we're talking about that, man, but we're not telling them not to apply. We're not. This is, I come from a world of demand. If the customer demands it, the customer demands it. Whether Waukegan give it to them, North Chicago, it's a demand of the customer.
Well, to quote it earlier, there's people that demand prostitution too, so are we gonna start providing that? I mean,
I personally think the young man was out of order when he said that. That's something that I don't believe any woman should ever consider, entertain the thought of that. And he might have been joking, but that right there has no bearing on this conversation here.
Just as an aside,
Yeah.
Joliet has 2 casinos and more slots than we do.
Yeah. And if that's the case, look at the existing gaming that's going on right now.
Right now.
Part of the Illinois gaming bill was to add another, go from 1,400 to 2,000 machines. That's just,
more machines.
that's without your approval.
Right.
We're just trying to do workarounds to get what we have already said get. Sunset House. That's not, let's just say we repealed our 400 feet. The state of Illinois tells them they can't get it anyway.
Right.
So it's not Waukegan. We're trying to get workarounds. I wish there was other alternatives to work around, but there are not.
I mean, Thornton's in, I don't want to beat Thornton's up, they're the number one in the city. And they sort of backdoored us because they didn't need a pouring license from the city of Waukegan. They didn't need a liquor license. They sell enough diesel fuel, they have enough acreage, they fit the state's thing, bam, you gotta give it to them.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of decisions that we have to make, but we try to make them with the best interest of Waukegan at heart, and they're tough. Alderman Rivera.
I think what I'm hearing, though, is that we just need a little bit more time to digest this particular item. I mean, I understand what you're saying, that we've opened the door by, allowing a lease. But, I mean, that's a situation where we jumped into something without properly doing our due diligence, and we're stuck. And the same thing happened with Thornton's. Without doing our due diligence, here they come, and we're stuck. We can't do anything.
Yeah, but when they first came in, I mean, that development there has generated more tax dollars than maybe any corner in the city.
No, but what I'm saying is that, we made decisions without being totally informed, and we got kind of zinged on the back end, even though they are making a ton of money, but...
I'm sure the Thornton, I don't know that we didn't do our due diligence, maybe we didn't.
We didn't do any due diligence on that because they came in before we had regulation.
Yeah.
But we did.
Wow.
Yeah, Thornton
That's how they got grandfathered.
Yeah, Thornton just went straight state on us. They bypassed us as a whole.
Well, do we have regulations now?
No.
For truck stops?
Yes. Yes.
We don't have another piece of land big enough to put.
From a
trucks
zoning
on.
standpoint, we can regulate it, but
Well,
over there, it's just
I
not.
hear that there's one trying to get that when they, the last one, that we okayed, Washington and Green Bay.
It's not
No,
big
it's not
enough.
big enough.
Yeah.
If
It's
they
not
take
3
on
acres.
somebody's other property, they want somebody to
She came up here, the owner, she came up here and she told us she did not want gaming. That's what she told us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that.
We got 10 acres at Fountain Square that we can, next to the casino, we can put a gas station and do more gaming. You only need 3. I mean,
that's
we
just
need,
kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah.
so are we gonna hold this over? Are we voting on it or what?
If corporate council, we don't vote on this, do we hold up the brewery?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna.
The brewery's held up.
We're
Let's
ending
just
up in a bad
understand where we at with
situation.
that.
We're gonna what?
We're gonna end up in a
Yeah.
bad situation with that brewery. We're gonna disadvantage that guy that we
What's the point in
rented
holding it
the
over?
property
Yep.
to.
Could
I
you
mean-
clarify what you just said?
Is that because of the distance?
Yeah, so the old Urban Edge property over there that's attached to the parking garage, right? We leased that out to the fellow that's gonna put a brewery in there, or a craft brewery in there, and the other part of it's gonna be a shop that sells homemade distilled goods. Same basic idea, it's just whiskey instead of beer. The problem is, during our final review a few weeks back, we realized that the old Serbian church, I forget the name of it, that's just north of it
Yeah.
on County Street.
Yeah.
is actually within 450 feet of it if you if you use the state method of measurement. Not from door to door, but from the closest point on the building where the brewery is to the closest point on the lot line for the church. It's about 350 feet roughly. And that's where the problem comes in. The state would give them a license because the state's requirements are only 100 feet. Our our liquor code says 400 feet, same as the video gaming code says. So that 400 feet is where the problem is. We don't have a mechanism in the liquor code for a waiver the way we do with the 1,800 feet that's between video gaming establishments that can be waived. Now, you remember when we first brought in the regulations for this, one of the conversations that we tried to have, and I'm not quite sure that it ever went where it was supposed to go or intended for us to go as we were rolling this in, was the idea that there are parts that we built in that 1,800-foot waiver on purpose because we wanted to make sure that you recognize that in the neighborhoods where people live, you don't want a concentration of a bunch of bars taking over a neighborhood and video gaming taking over neighborhoods. That part seems to be pretty accurate, and I think everybody here would pretty much agree with it. The issue came in, but what about places like Genesee Street or Fountain Square? And that's what that waiver was designed for, to try to concentrate areas that would limit where the sin, if you will, I don't have a better word for it, but the adult entertainment area could be concentrated in an area. It's more readily watched by police. It's easier to control, and it doesn't result in proliferation and spread throughout the neighborhoods. That was what the idea behind this was. We've sat through, I don't know how many meetings as we have debated back and forth the points that Alderman Mosio brought up a few minutes ago, and I kept trying to get, if we didn't like the distance requirements and weren't willing to waive the distance requirements, what were the what are the parameters that you want to see put into a regulation, given that we can't just say, LCs, we can't ever have you again. There's real limits to what you can do as far as zoning and the rest of the stuff. We've tried our best to come up with the alternatives that are presented before you. This, I think, is to try to get back to while it's triggered by the craft brewery and the problem that we generated by entering into a lease without doing proper measurements, frankly, it still is emblematic of the underlying problem itself, which is that perhaps that we're getting away from the idea where concentrating the neighborhood of areas where you have adult uses is being abandoned, and you're ending up with more spread. And that's a concern that we really have. That's one of the reasons that when this was talked about, and we thought perhaps this is a better answer, because to Alderman Taylor's point, I have listened to all sorts of different ideas, and we have debated this at great length, but nobody ever came to a consensus that was clear that I could work with. So we're trying to come up with something that hopefully will solve not only this problem, but several other ones that are within that same immediate area. Because if you take a look, and we might as well do this since it's already after 10, and we're going to be here shortly. If you look at, for example, item 11G and H, which are the similar things for for Lucky Food. Well, these people had, this is the old Chinese restaurant on Genesee Street, which had video gaming and a bar before the new owners took it over and renovated the place. Are you really gonna tell, do you really wanna tell them that they can't go back and resume an use that existed and operated, you know, without any complaints, to the best of my knowledge, for a significant period of time, and allow these folks to resume providing Chinese food in downtown? That's really one of the issues that's coming up, and this is a way to address those problems, because they are located close to other bars and restaurants up and down that strip. So that's where the idea comes from, and that's where the genesis of it was. There's nothing more I can really add to that.
So we're creating an overlay district, essentially.
Yeah, it is an overlay district for a specific area to see, and the idea being that we know that we have, the downtown is in need of cash infusion from some source. Some money's got to get in there, or it's going to continue to deteriorate or stay the same. It's not going to improve. And it's a discrete area. It's the area we showcase, you know, things like Scoop. It's our front door, if you will, right off the lake. This is an area where you should be trying to get as many people into it as you possibly can. To Ms. Baratti's point, it is, if you're gonna have an entertainment district that's founded on some form of restaurants, alcohol, and gaming, that's probably the best place, because it's right sitting on the most scenic spot above town that's underutilized at present, and there's no sign of change. Sorry, I don't mean to go off on big speeches.
Call for the question.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
No.
Alderman Florian.
No.
Alderman Taylor.
No.
Alderman Bolton.
No.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
It's 5-4.
What does that do to our contract? You go?
Well, I'll have to go back and deal with the contract. We'll have to bring it back and, at least on attempt to get a specific waiver for that one. So we're not done with this issue yet.
All right. Item 11A, motion, new business.
Yeah.
Put motion by Alderman Kirkwood, second by Alderman Rivera.
No, we were, oh, I'm sorry.
We
go ahead.
did that, didn't we?
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
No,
To
not
approve
this.
vendor contract for grass cutting, debris removal for vacant and abandoned properties. Question to the motion.
How much is the contract?
It's
No,
the grant from the IDHA to cut abandoned properties, right?
No, Mike, why don't you come and explain? It's not, it's just.
We're approving a contract, but there's no dollar figure associated.
We already did this in committee.
This is the grant that we received from IDA. It's a $250,000 grant. It's related to that grant. So our grass cutting is for abandoned, vacant properties.
All right.
And we contract out to different grass cutting companies, and then they get reimbursed through that grant based on their services.
We pay them, then we get reimbursed?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
We pay them, then we get reimbursed.
This is a grant we've gotten for years. It's $250,000. We've taken houses down with it. Now we will cut a certain amount of grass, yards. It depends on the size of the yard, what they charge us. This passed in committee. We went to this in committee.
So what it is, at one point in time, we only had one contractor. We only had one contractor to do the whole city. So what we talked about in code enforcement, we need about 4 or 5. So as opposed to just coming back and forth, we're approving 4 or 5 contractors to work throughout the whole city.
Yeah, that's not perfect.
Versus the one person. So sometimes when you see those lots that are like, there was one person doing it. Actually, we had to go out 2 times because no one else bid it on, so we had to,
Yeah, we went out for RFP on this. We had 4 respondents.
yeah. Cool. So that's what that was on. All right, any other questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Item E, motion by Alderman Mozio, second by Alderman Kirkwood to approve ordinance creating a Class F liquor license for Carnacia y Fruteria El Mexicano, Inc., Washington Street, at 2665 Washington Street, Waukegan, Illinois, 6085. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Nay.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Items F, motion by Alderman Turner, second by Alderman Rivera to approve ordinance creating Class E liquor license for Jack's Pizza and Burger, 1000 North Green Bay Road, Waukegan, Illinois, 60085. Any questions to the motion?
Yes.
Alderman Florian.
Isn't this a location where we've had some problems before? I realize the police department's not here, but I think
Not in
they,
recent years, but years ago, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think about 5, 6, maybe 10 years.
More
ago.
than that.
More than that?
okay.
Okay. Yeah, typically, if there's an issue, police department will let me know or let us know right away.
So that goes through them
Oh, yeah.
before it gets to this point?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, they get wind and let you know right away. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Nay.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Item G, motion by Alderman Turner, second by Alderman Kirkwood, to grant a waiver pursuant to section 3-77A of the city code, allowing video gaming distance required to be suspended for Lucky Foods, 38 North Genesee Street, Waukegan, Illinois. Any questions to the motion? Alderman Florian.
Addressing Alderman Moisio's point earlier, the whole issue of distance is not applied equally. There's exceptions made all the time. I just think we need to come up with something concrete that we're not always doing this. If either we're gonna regulate it or we're not. And if we are, we need to stick to whatever it is we say we're gonna do.
Well, ma'am, honestly, you just voted against one of the pilots we tried to do that with. And that's just, so I hear what you're saying, but this is about the third time we've come up with something that we thought might be a balance there, but is rejected. So while I get it, maybe if some of the aldermen like to go out to other communities and see what they're doing, bring those ideas back. I know we're searching as much as we can, but if we're gonna be rejected every time we bring something up because maybe a dislike of gambling or the person who it is, the fact of the matter, we need to come up with something because it is not working for what the intent. The intent, just so we're clear, our intent was to get rid of the parlors. That was the biggest issue that we had when we created this. Parlors. I'm not a fan of them. I don't think no one was. Why? They have one way of looking at it, and that's just video gambling.
Right.
I'm with you. Bertrand's. What do? You go bowling, do a little pool playing, do a little gambling, do a little, another thing. Those are different things. A restaurant. Buy some food, have a cocktail, do a little gambling. That's a 3-for-1 for the city. That's what we want in our community. On top of those who've been here, they paid the price to be in Waukegan. We're just trying to find a workaround state rules matching our rules.
What would happen if we didn't regulate it? What if we just let businessmen and women be businessmen and women and open up a freaking store wherever they want and compete with one another? All these gaming and liquor establishments, they have a rule. You can't sell or participate in gaming if you're under 21. So if an adult wants to go to this store and gamble, and then decide they want to go next door and gamble, or they want to go 50 feet away and gamble. What difference does it make? How does that bother anybody? I don't get it.
That's free enterprise.
It's free enterprise. I mean, you know, we don't regulate, like, over in my ward, over on Lewis and Buck Avenue, we got a McDonald's and we got a Wendy's right across the street from each other. You go right down at the other end of the block, you got Hillary's, but before you get there, you got food inside the bowling alley. Why are we not regulating where you can sell food?
Well, you have to have food to live. You don't have to have gaming to live.
But it's not our business to regulate how people live. I wasn't elected to manage how people live or how people run their business. You're a business owner. Do I get to manage how you do your business? No, you want to put stripes in your parking lot? No, I don't like that. Stripes should be pink. So I think we're getting way overboard with all this constant regulation. We talk about being the city of progress. We talk about being business friendly. We are not business friendly. That's my comment. But anyway, call the vote.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Nay.
Alderman Taylor.
No.
Alderman Bolton.
No.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion passed and carries. Motion by Alderman Mozio, second by Alderman Rivera, to approve orders creating Class E liquor license to associate video gaming license for Lucky Foods, 38 North Genesee Street, Waukegan, Illinois. Any other questions? Roll call.
Who did that?
No, we did we had the liquor license out.
Distance.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And let's be clear, that was at Fong's Food already.
Right.
The guy bought, he bought it, and he had to go back through our process.
Right.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
No.
Alderman Taylor.
No.
Alderman Bolton.
No.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Motion passed and carries.
Aye.
Aye.
Yep.
Oh,
Aye
aye.
and J.
Motion, okay, I'm sorry.
We're all getting tired.
Yeah. Motion by Alderman Seager, second by Alderman Mozio, to grant a waiver pursuant to am I in the right one? 7-3 City Code allowing video gaming distance requirements to be suspended for Mayasal Mexican Restaurant, 554 North Green Bay Road, Waukegan, Illinois, 6085. Any questions to the motion?
How close are they? What are they close to?
Thornton's.
They're close to Thornton's.
Oh, is
They're
this the one we
within
talked about in the
Yeah, lot line,
community?
Thornton's got 3 acres.
Did they measure? They said they were gonna measure. Did they measure?
I don't know, but the
We're gonna
lot
try to
lines
get
are
into
close, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter, I think it's 1,500 feet.
They're about 500 feet apart, if you go by the lot lines.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
No.
Alderman Taylor.
No.
Alderman Bolton.
No.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Motion passed and carried.
Jay?
Motion by Alderman Mozio, second by Alderman Kirkwood, to approve orders granting video gaming license to be issued to Masao Mexican Restaurant. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
No.
Alderman Taylor.
No.
Alderman Bolton.
No.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Motion passed and carried. Item K, motion by Alderman Turner, second by Rivera, to approve ordinance creating a Class D liquor license social with video gaming license to Rocky's Place, 2243 North Lewis Avenue, Waukegan, Illinois, 6087. Questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
No.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
What'd you say?
There's no waiver to this, right?
No,
No,
Okay.
no waiver.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
No.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Item T, motion for Alderman,
No, we didn't.
Tape, huh?
T.
That's what I'm saying, T.
Oh, I didn't hear my fault on
Okay,
here.
motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Mozio, to approve all block parties, applications. Questions to the motion? I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Ann had a quick,
You got it.
I have a question, but I thought somebody else had a question.
Felix did first.
Okay, we're gonna, Alderman Turner, Rivera, then Taylor. Alderman Turner.
Okay, so my question is this, I mean, this is really vague, and it's kind of a pet peeve of mine all those years I stood back in the corner, is that we approve all these block parties without listing what they are, announcing, you know, for transparency, because essentially we are closing a street, public street, right? Public thoroughfare, and I think the public should be made aware of the street closure. So why not just list what the block parties are for the public to know? And I know they come in our packet, if you will, but I think the public should be made aware that, you know, and the reason I bring this up, because Saturday, in my ward, North Avenue Tap had their annual barbecue, right? And they came to me for it, and I signed a block party permit. They got the 3 neighbors, but it's, man, I'm telling you, as soon as they went, Public Works went and put up those barricades, and they only blocked off one end, the west end of the street, right at North Avenue. They only blocked off that end, right? But as soon as those barricades went up, my phone started ringing. How come you didn't tell us you were blocking the street? What are you about to block in the street? So I think we should, as a rule, announce what street closures we're gonna have, instead of just saying approve all block parties. That's my thought.
Excuse me.
Alderman Rivera.
Okay, the issue that I'm taking with the, what we're calling block parties are actually events. And I don't know if you know, if we're going to enforce what we call a block party. We had an email come out from our Director of Risk Management, and this was on June 3rd, indicating that she just wanted to give a gentle reminder of what qualifies as a block party as opposed to a special event. And I think she did this so we can reduce the exposure that we have. Now, one of the definers is that the block party is usually 50 people or under. It is outdoors in a residential zone district, generally organized and attended by the residents of a city block or neighborhood. And I have one, the one that Mr. Turner's talking about here, regarding the closure of at Greenwood and Golf. This thing is billed at 100 to 150 people attending. The 3 neighbors that signed the request for a block party, they're actually vendors. It's Greenwood Auto, Tootie's Bakery, and the Quick Stop. And now it's being billed through Whitmore's Facebook page as a car show. They're going to have trophies awarded, first, second, and third place. They're going to have a 50-50 raffle. They're also going to have raffle prizes. And they're going to have Big Ed's as a vendor. And I believe they're also having Carriage Auto Body and somebody from a Snap-on franchise as a vendor there. So what it seems like, you know, again, this is an event. And I think we need to go through the proper procedure when we're having these events in order to reduce our exposure as a city.
That didn't come through as a block party for this approval, though, did
When
it?
somebody comes through.
Yeah.
It's a
with
block
that kind
party.
of stuff,
It's
it would
listed.
not- it would
It'll
not
be
be a
approved
block
tonight?
party.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
There's stuff.
Well, there's another one here happening in the first ward. It's 200 to 300 people are expected.
First, 12?
And,
Two in the first, one in the sixth, and one in the fourth.
yeah, and then there's another one
Is that in
where,
the sixth?
the one I'm talking about is in the 6th ward.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious, I see. Okay, yeah, I got it, okay. I got it.
Yeah, and you see, the issue that I'm having with this also is that I was approached early in May regarding this event. And it was always advertised as a block party, and I kept telling people, no, this is an event. And again, it just, it's a surprise when I see it, on the list of applications to be approved, and it clearly indicates that there's going to be more people than required.
Did you sign it? Did you sign off on it?
I have something.
No, it's not in my ward, no.
So a little background on that. Initially, Mr. Whitmore came to Felix and I. He wanted to close off Gulf Road.
He wanted to close off Gulf Road from North
Avenue
to Greenwood.
North to Greenwood, and we said, no, you can't do that.
No.
Because, fire, emergency vehicles and such, it's a major thoroughfare. Then he looked at doing it on Glendenning, which is a short block.
Well, in order to do it on Glendenning, he had to get 3 neighbors to sign off on it, and they were definitely not going to sign off on it.
Alderman Rivera brings up a good point. I think, but again, this should be something we've been doing, staff should catch this. That, hey, whoa, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. The Alderman can look at it, and look at it and say, that's a good point, Alderman Rivera.
Well, my issue is the exposure that the city's going to have if something happens, specifically at a car show.
Well, wait a minute. We're kind of getting off beat here, because the first question is, if this was talked about at council as opposed to approve all block parties, right? See, if that had been talked about when we approved it, we would have talked about it last meeting, right? You would have had a chance to say, hey, what about this? And this is going to be an event, not a block party. So now it's been approved because it was under this umbrella of approve all block parties.
Well, has it been approved?
Yeah.
It hasn't been
No.
approved.
No,
That's what it's up
it's
for
on the
tonight.
agenda.
Okay, everybody, hold on a
We
second.
pulled it out.
Everyone,
We pulled it out because of this issue.
everyone, we will be a little bit more, we will scrutinize these a little bit more heavier as we move forward. But when I was an alderman, when an alderman approved it, we just processed it.
Yeah.
So if you put your signature on it, then it's okay with you.
Right.
But as we move forward with these deals, and we will bring them back to you. But understand, when we bring them back, it's bringing them back to where the alderman said no, not.
But the aldermen need to be trained that if
Correct.
this is what our
this
risk
is-
manager says, should be the
Well, I'm
guidelines.
surprised that the risk manager made that assessment without letting me know, but I will talk with her on that one.
Well,
Because
but she also said that pursuant, the events do not match this definition are required to pursue a special event permit, and that she's willing to work with whomever needs within the next 2 weeks to get it done, that she will be able to get it done.
Let me say this to you, particularly you young alderman. When I was first ward alderman, you're gonna have people in that block that do things on an annual basis.
That's right.
They're block parties. That's how they look at them, that's how they view it. From an exposure to the city of Waukegan with a block party, they bring barricades, they block up the streets, and there was no exposure there. So that's why I'm trying to get what exposure now.
Yeah, because if you have
The ex-
something where, like if, for instance, you do Afrofest, what's the difference between that and companies now doing this, which is clearly companies, not neighbors getting together?
Well,
That's a whole different ballgame.
And what I'm trying to say, I don't probably disagree with you, but there are, let me give you an example. Trinity AME Church does Cares Fest. I've always put that down as a block party, because everybody in the neighborhood comes. So in their mind, that is a block party. I think what we need to let maybe those companies know, if Whitmore's is over there, the pantry is over there, they've been there 30, 40 years. In their mind, that's what they're thinking is the block party.
That's their neighborhood.
Now, if we are changing that, then let's get with them to change that. But that's why I'm saying that some of these things are,
Okay, but we're not changing anything. I mean, it's clearly defined, if it doesn't meet the block party, that it has to go through the
right,
special
and
event.
that's where I think I need to speak with us, a risk manager, so we can get and make sure we understand who's applying, what the terms are.
Right.
50 people in a block party, I can go in Alderman Moiseau's ward. It was well over 200 people. The 200 block of South Victory Street, 400, because everybody there. So I get what you're saying. I just think let's just get with these particular individuals on those areas to make sure we're not outside the line of what an event versus a block.
Oh, correct. And I think that one of the points that I was making was that a lot of the things that are happening here with the car show and the vendors, it is geared towards a special event.
Okay, then we can certainly address that. But I'm only giving you a lot of these businesses. They consider themselves part of the block.
They are the block.
Well, and I'm going to go, Alderman Tate, did you have anything? If not, I'm going to go down to Alderman Bolton.
Well, I just think you've got to have a line there that defines that, because what is the difference then? Couldn't you call Afrofest a block party? I mean, it becomes very blurred, and I think we need to have clear guidelines again, because we're going to have things coming through the back door if we don't define those things up front.
I would say to you, typically an outside event normally is with city council property.
Right.
That's what we originally did this for.
Right.
If we're going to look at making those changes,
And
this is no problem.
This is when they
It's not the problem of changing those. Let's just make sure we do it in retrospect to what
Right.
those communities are used to and what they like. That's all. But we'll get to it, and your point is well taken. Alderman Bolton.
I just wanted to say I'm guilty. I had approved of the CARES event in the first ward, but I approved of it prior to sitting with the risk manager. So on sitting with her, she gave me a clarification. The difference between a special event and a block party. So the boundaries are established, but however, like I said, the CARES event, they've been doing it for, I'm exaggerating, 50,000 years. So I think it's unfair for them to change, at this point. So I guess I'm asking and advocating for them. Can we approve it?
We put restrictions that next year they understand that that's truly a
Yes,
special
and
event.
I, as the alderman, I will make sure to those that are in my ward, understand those boundaries. Matter of fact, I'm working with at least 5 block parties right now and giving them those clarifications.
So now we got a guy doing an event scheduled for the 29th, and we're telling him.
No, he could still do it because our risk manager will work to make it happen.
But you told me
said
that we pulled this out and we didn't approve it.
No. She says that if we don't approve this tonight, she will contact Amber Dreesen from Whitmore's and work with this person to make sure that they have the special events permit and everything that they need.
All right, yeah, we will make, Alderman, we'll make sure that it meets our criteria, okay? We'll make sure that, and then we'll work on things, particularly for those companies who, North Tab, I mean, to them, that's a block party. I don't care what you call it. It is a block party to them. But we'll work with them to make sure that we have we meet a medium there over there. But I do thank you for your concern. Yes, Alderman Seeger.
My question is, how will this affect the fire station?
It won't.
Jackson and
It won't.
It's not that
Sunset.
far.
Yeah, we're gonna work with each and every one of these and make sure we have a better understanding of what they are, so we have much more clear boundaries when we come up here, all right? But it's the spirit of this community is, hey, some call them block parties, some call them events. What we won't do, though, is take away from the fact of them getting together. That's not what we're trying to limit here. And so we'll work on it. We'll work on it with the risk manager, okay? With that being said,
Roll call.
Roll call.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it, motion passed and carried, and we have closing arguments. To item 13, while it may say audience time, you had your audience time already.
Yeah.
Audience. It is Alderman's time. Madam Clerk.
Alderman Kirkwood.
The hour is late. Just have one announcement. On June 24th, next Monday, at 5:30 to 7 o'clock, all the businesses in the 4th Ward will have a meeting here in the City Council chambers to discuss ways of improving your business. And that'll start promptly at 5:30 for refreshment, 6 o'clock. The meeting will start here in the council chambers.
Hey, Alderman Kirkwood, real quick, one of your businessmen was in here earlier this evening for a committee meeting, Booners, and he'd like you to stop by and talk to him if you get a chance.
Alderman Newsom.
Pass.
Alderman Turner.
All right, great, thanks. In the 6th Ward, excuse me, on June 22nd, that's this coming Saturday, I'm going to have another dumpster drop that will be at, for our summer cleanup, and that's going to be at the 1200 block, I think it's 1209 Chestnut, right near Marco's Pizza, but on the street, on Chestnut Street. My next summer cleanup and dumpster drop, if you will, is going to be August 17th. That's going to be in front of North School on Franklin. But before we get there, on June 27th, next week, I'm going to have my ward meeting here in Council Chambers. It's going to start at 6 p.m. and run until 7:30 p.m. And then item number 4, on June 29th, we're having a block party on Greenwood between Golf and Chestnut. That's it. You know, one thing I do want to mention, working, for years I've been, working with city staff and employees, and now as an alderman, I'm working a little closer with them, but I got to tell you, I just want to highlight the true professionals that we have here in the city of Waukegan. I mean, and I don't, it's not just through my interactions of working with them, but I observe them interacting with others, just with our citizens and businessmen, and I just, I think our city workers, city employees are doing a fantabulous job. City Works, Public Works, the Animal Control, obviously police and fire departments, but also all of our clerks, in the clerk's, the city clerk's office, and as well as at the water department and traffic department, just the entire staff that I come in contact with. I want to give kudos to all of those folks. Thank you, that's all I have.
Alderman Rivera.
Pass.
Alderman Florian.
I just want to remind everyone that my board meeting is on Thursday here in City Council Chambers. We're going to have refreshments at 5:30, and the meeting will be from 6 to 7 in here for the 8th Ward. And then I just wanted to read this email that the mayor received this past week or so from one of my residents. Mayor Cunningham, from time to time over the past 30 years or so, I've had the occasion to be in contact with code compliance regarding various issues. More recently, I've been in contact with Cynthia Jackson and Miguel Rivera regarding 2 abandoned, inoperable vehicles, and I have never had such a prompt and professional response over the course of all these years. Cynthia Jackson, in particular, is like a breath of fresh air in a department that I previously and personally had experienced as rather cavalier and mediocre at best. In my opinion, Waukegan needs more ambassadors just like her in positions that interact with the public. Best regards, Mark Pleasant. And Miguel is newly assigned to the 8th Ward, and he has been doing a fabulous job for me. I just want to say that. Thank you very much.
Alderman Taylor.
First, I want to thank Public Works. We had our first cleanup in one part of the ward this weekend. Each part of the ward is different. We rocked it with electronics, man. We have every TV from the 60s to the 2010, whatever. But we will be having another one on the other side of the ward in the July-August timeframe. So we will, at that point, do tires and electronics and more garbage pickup. I also want to put out, because my phone's been burning up tonight, apparently there is a new push poll going out about the casino. And I don't know what it's about, but apparently my name individually and the mayor's name individually are mentioned in it, so if you get it, you're aware of it. Don't know what it's about, but my residents are burning up the phone about it, so just so you're aware of it. Thank you.
Alderman Bolton.
Yes, I just wanted to announce neighborhood cleanup for the first ward will be July 15th, 8 to 3 p.m. The location is 8th and Adams. The second one will be September 20th, Belvedere and Beasley. The third one will be October 7th at 10th and Adams. And if you have any further questions concerning block parties, special events, feel free to call me at 224-607-8445. That's my commercial.
Alderman Seager.
Pass.
Alderman Mozio.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Alderman Mosey, second by Alderman Newsom to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passed and carried.